Good afternoon and welcome to Eastwood Field in Niles, Ohio for today's Horizon League doubleheader between the Youngstown State Penguins and the visiting UIC Flames. I'm Mike Yurstowski alongside John Schiraldi. A beautiful afternoon, chilly but sunny here in Youngstown or Niles, Ohio as we get set for this doubleheader affair. John, I bring you in now. UIC coming into this game with a pretty good record in the Horizon League and overall as well. What jumps out to you about this UIC lineup?
Yeah, Mike, obviously when you take a look at this Flames, they're 13-2 in the conference, 25-8 overall. Currently the second best team in this Horizon League, and really it starts with their pitching. It has been a consistent model for them all season long, and pitching has really been, I believe, what's allowed them to lose just 2 conference games in what we know to be one of the more competitive Mid-American conferences in the Horizon League baseball.
We'll take a look at the UIC starting 9. It'll be Thomas Norton. He'll lead off. He'll play third base. David Cronin will bat second, playing second. Cody Bohanec will play shortstop, batting third. In the cleanup spot, it'll be Rob Calabrese. And the fifth spot will be Scott Oda in right field. Ricardo Ramirez will bat sixth. He'll play first. The designated hitter will be Bowen Ogata. And the Brandon Gibbs will bat eighth. He'll play left. And Mickey McDonald will bat ninth and play center. The starting pitcher for Youngstown State is sophomore Gino DiVincenzo, a local product going to Cardinal Mooney High School. He comes into this game with an 0-2 record, an ERA that kind of jumps out to you but is a little bit myth as he has a 13.74 ERA. He's only pitched in 19 innings. He's struck out 12 and walked 15 so far on the season.
Yeah, DiVincenzo, a pitcher who really does a great job of getting ahead early, but his problems come when it comes to closing out innings and really tends to shoot himself in the foot, or at least he has here in the early going of the season. And you see the walk numbers right there. That's really what led to him struggling in those 2 outings he's had this year.
Thomas Norton will lead off for UIC. The sophomore, 340 average on the season, 2 home runs, 12 RBIs. Kicks and fires, and we're underway here at Eastwood Field. First pitch strike from the Youngstown State pitcher.
Yeah, Mike, important for DiVincenzo to get in a rhythm here early. We talked about it. He has a tendency to miss his spots in the latter half of the inning, so important for him to get started here with authority.
Nice pitch with a curveball. He'll say, home plate upper will say Norton went, so 0-2 early here on Thomas Norton.
And Norton, really a guy who's known a little bit more for his fielding. A utility player, can play both third base and shortstop. Looking to get out of 0-2 hole here.
0-2 outside, and we'll kick to the backstop, and it's now 1-2. 2 home runs, 12 RBIs for Thomas Norton in the leadoff spot for UIC. Is a .445 on-base percentage, so has done a pretty good job getting on base early for the Flames in that leadoff spot.
Yeah, really, Mike, a guy that's come up clutch for the
Fair
Flames
ball
a number
thrown
of
over
times.
to Kendrick, and he'll retire. And Norton, as the third baseman for Youngstown State, Nico Padovin, will retire the first Flame, and 1 up, 1 down so far for UIC. That'll bring up now the second baseman, David Cronin. As Cronin with a .362 average on the season. He leads UIC in average. He also has 17 runs batted in.
Again, Cronin, one of the big bats in this lineup. Whenever the Flames seem to need a hit or get something started here, it's normally Cronin, the guy getting things going.
First pitch upstairs, ball 1.
Part of the reason Cronin's batting .362 is his ability to really control battles with the pitchers and get ahead early in counts.
This one swung on and driven into center field, but underneath it and making the catch for Youngstown State would be Trey Brightus, and 2 up, 2 down for UIC. Cronin gave it a ride, but Brightus right underneath it for out number 2.
Yeah, good swing, Mike, good contact on the ball, and really gave it quite a ride, but right to the center fielder. And if you're DiVincenzo, this is exactly the start you were looking for, and now it comes down to just closing out this inning and not allowing the Flames to get any kind of a spark here with 2 outs.
The team leader in RBIs, Cody Bohanec, will step to the plate. 5 home runs, 32 ribbies on the season. He's got 43 hits so far on this 2017 campaign. First pitch upstairs, ball 1. As you said, John, a good start for DiVincenzo so far through the first 2 hitters. They've made contact, but is making his defense pay play. DiVincenzo's not going to strike out. Only 12 strikeouts so far on the season. Has to trust his defense to make the plays.
No, and DiVincenzo's game is really all about placement, and the times we have seen him get off the rails and allow quite a few runs has been when he's missing his spots, when he's, that curveball hangs, and really a guy that needs to focus on closing out the innings, as I know this is a big at-bat here and a big start for him.
2-0 on Bohannic. Outside 3-0.
Again, a little concerning there if you're head coach Dan Bertolini that you are seeing DiVincenzo struggle a little bit with his spot placement here in the first half of the inning, but plenty of time to settle in.
We'll see if Bohannic is in full take mode here with a 3-0 count. That one is inside strike one, now 3-1. Good pitch by DiVincenzo to come back and fire a strike.
Again, Bohannic, he's a guy who's going to wait for his pitch. He's not going to allow the pitcher to get him off his game. Really a guy that's very comfortable and waiting for his spots.
Swung on into the third baseman again. Throws over to Kendrick at first, and 3 up, 3 down go the UIC Flames. A good start for Gino DiVincenzo as he retires the first 3. We'll come to the bottom of the first. It'll be Rowan, Arcuri, and Willoughby up for YSU when we come back.
The Penguin Club supports your Youngstown State student athletes.
Thanks to the Penguin Club, our student athletes are given the chance to win a championship and, more importantly, earn a degree.
Join the Penguin Club to support YSU and benefit from priority season tickets, game day parking, and access to hospitality suites.
Be a part of the team behind the teams.
Join the Penguin Club and make a difference.
Call 330-9411-YSU or go to ysusports.com for more information.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Take a look at head coach Dan Bertolini for the Youngstown State Penguins in his first season at the helm for the Penguins. Already quite a turnaround so far for head coach Dan Bertolini and the Penguins, as we've already seen them set the school record for home runs in a season.
Yeah, Mike, a proven recruiter, a proven winner who's from the area. And if anybody can really get this baseball program going to the heights where we've seen maybe the football team achieve, it's going to be Dan Bertolini, as a guy that has a great mindset and really understands what players from this area are thinking and how to recruit them and get them to come to this school. And you know, when you're talking with athletic director Ron Stroll, he said they're really excited to have somebody with that winning pedigree that we've seen Bertolini have. And he comes to Youngstown after spending the past 8 seasons as a developing coach up at Mercyhurst. So somebody that we know is fully able to help lay the groundwork for a program to really have that success that I know everyone in Youngstown, Ohio would like to see this team have over the next few seasons under Coach Bertolini.
Take a look at the starting 9 for YSU. It'll be Anthony Rowan in the leadoff spot. Lorenzo Arcuri will bat second. Shane Willoughby will bat third. In the cleanup spot will be the big bat in the lineup, Andrew Kendrick. Nico Padavin will bat fifth. Trey Brightus will bat sixth. Webb Charles behind him. Anthony Santoro will bat eighth. And Kyle Banyo will bat ninth. On the hill for UIC is Jake Dahlberger, the senior with a 6-1 record so far, a 2.29 ERA, a very good pitcher for UIC. 45 strikeouts, only 19 walks for Dahlberger.
Yeah, Mike, and we're really getting to see some of the best individual players, both as hitters and pitchers, between this YSU lineup and this UIC Flames. A number of Horizon League pitchers and batters of the week, so really an exciting matchup here, despite maybe the discrepancy on the wins and loss side.
Anthony Rowan will lead off here for YSU, the left fielder, batting .273 on the season, 2 home runs and 16 runs driven in. First pitch to Rowan, outside part of the plate called strike one. Dahlberger, the lefty, will come right at hitters and hit his spots occasionally, so YSU has to be ready to swing often here against Dahlberger. Swung on, hit up the middle. That's going to be a tough play for the shortstop. He'll fire over to first and retire Rowan. Nice plays by the shortstop, Cody Bohannic, for UIC. 1 up, 1 down.
And again, good hit by Rowan, solid contact, but really just not enough on that ball to get out of the infield. A good spot, but nice play there by the shortstop, able to come over and make the play at first.
Lorenzo Arcuri now will dig in for YSU. .261 average on the season, 5 home runs, 17 RBIs. That's a common theme you're going to see throughout this Youngstown State lineup, is a lot of home runs hit. As we talked about, almost everyone in the starting 9 so far will have one. At least 7 of the 9 will have the home run so far on this season. First pitch to Arcuri, inside, ball 1.
Again, Arcuri, in addition to Andrew Kendrick, has really been one of the big bats for this Penguin lineup.
1-0 downstairs, 2-0. As Jake Dahlberg coming into this game, opponents, batters only hitting 172 against him, so YSU realizes they have to capitalize on their opportunity. This one's driven into center field. Back goes McDonald, and he'll be under it, and retire it is. Arcuri gave it a ride, but a big hit it to the longest part of the ballpark at 405 down in center field.
Yeah, Mike, a very similar story here for the Penguins, getting good contact, good cuts here in the first part of the baseball game in the first inning, but really just not hitting them where they ain't.
Both two hitters for UIC and YSU both grounded out, and then the second one flew out to center. Shane Willoughby, first pitch swinging, he'll foul that one back. Willoughby, 222 on the season, 4 home runs, but
they just want to see a more consistent approach through.
This one swung on, lifted in the air, out of play. And we'll make it 1-2 now on Oda.
Oda, someone they're really excited about in this UIC program, an all-freshman team member. Batted .281 in his freshman campaign with 4 home runs, so somebody I think they're looking to have a pretty big career here for the Flames.
1-2 to Oda. DiVincenzo looking for the first out here in the second. Upstairs, ball 2. The UIC team does not strike out that much, and the leader on the team has only struck out 27 times on the season. Compare that to YSU. They have 2 guys with 39 strikeouts apiece. So UIC puts the ball in play, and YSU's defense has to be ready for that, especially with a guy on second and nobody out.
Yeah, a little difference in hitting philosophies there, Mike, when you look at these 2 ball clubs.
2-2 outside, full count now on Oda.
The Flames, much more consistent approach, just looking to put the ball in play and give it a chance to at least maybe get on, and YSU has really prided themselves on their power, but we know that's a double-edged sword, and sometimes that can mean high strikeout numbers, but year 1 of the Dan Bertolini experience, I think they're excited by the developments they've seen.
3-2 to Oda. Curveball swung on foul, and a nice play by the first base coach for UIC to keep that one in front of them. And we'll do it again at 3-2.
Way to sacrifice the body right there. Probably the best bit of fielding we've seen so far today, Mike.
So you got to be ready as a first and third base coach in this game, especially with these metal bats. That ball rockets off of those.
I'm ready
almost
back
like a
here
fielder.
to make a play.
Yeah, we have been told up in the press box some balls have come up here, so we brought our gloves today. 3-2. DiVincenzo kicks the leg and fires back and looks back to second. Nothing doing, though.
I think DiVincenzo might have had a shot there at picking him off, but unable to communicate with the shortstop and have somebody to throw there in time.
Willoughby wasn't behind the runner in time. Is definitely picked off Calabrese, or what caught him off guard. 3-2 now on Oda. Swung on and fouled back again. Nice job by Oda staying alive here against DiVincenzo.
And full count here, it's really going to come down to placement, Mike. If you're DiVincenzo, got to hit your spot on the outer half of the plate. Worst case scenario, if Oda's able to get around on it, turns into a ground ball, easy out. Hold that runner at second.
Here's the 3-2. Swung on a curveball again, fouled off down the left field line, and we'll do it again as we're approaching double-digit pitches in this at-bat to Scott Oda.
And if you notice, Mike, DiVincenzo really working that outer half of the plate, trying not to give Oda anything in his wheelhouse. Look for him to maybe come back low and inside, catch Oda off guard here.
DiVincenzo gets the sign, kicks and fires. Downstairs, ball 4, and that'll be a free pass for Scott Oda. The first one assigned by DiVincenzo today.
And again, Mike, this is a bit of a concerning sign if you're YSU. We know at times when DiVincenzo has gotten into hot water, this is how it started. So it's important here to refocus. The nice thing is you have a force out at any base, so if you can just keep the ball on the ground, get yourself out of this hole.
First and second, nobody out here for UIC. Interesting to see if UIC maybe elects to put a sack bunt down, try to advance the runners with nobody out. Here's Ricardo Ramirez. First pitch to him is outside and low, ball one. Ramirez, 3.06 average on the season. He's driven in 28 UIC Flames so far in the campaign, a .417 on base percentage.
Yeah, and he is Chicago born and raised, really somebody that is a key senior for this UIC lineup. We, of course, know he was a first-team All-Horizon Leaguer last season.
DiVincenzo stops his motion, looks back to second, nothing doing though. 1-0 here on Ramirez, excuse me.
And again, I see the merit in holding that lead runner, trying to keep him in check, but if I'm DiVincenzo, I'm focusing on the batter and trying to get one out here at least in the early half of the second.
Swung pitches inside, ball two. You said it's kind of maybe too concerned with the runner at second base right now as DiVincenzo has fired 3 straight balls.
And I mean, you got to focus, especially when you got like a guy like Ramirez at bat, somebody that last season ranked among Horizon League leaders in several offensive categories, led the league in sac flies, somebody that we know is really one of the most potent bats in this entire conference.
Here's the 2-0. Downstairs, ball 3, and now 4 straight balls by DiVincenzo. And at first base, Andrew Kendricks can go over and talk to his pitcher. Try to settle him down here as a rough going to the beginning of the second inning for DiVincenzo.
And Kendrick really has emerged this season. It's not odd that you see him walking over there just giving his pitcher a few brief comments. He's really emerged in his junior season as one of the leaders of this ball club in addition to leading the league in home runs.
3-0 on Ramirez. We'll see if he's in full take mode here, trying to make DiVincenzo throw him a strike. Pitch is in there for a strike, and now 3-1. DiVincenzo, you're just looking for a ground ball out here, or really an out in general, any way you can get it, even if it means the runners will advance. Just a way to put an out up on the board.
Yeah, really anything that can kind of get your confidence going again. I know he's a little rattled here, it appears, missing some of his spots.
3-1. Inside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded with nobody out here in the second inning. And now the catcher for Youngstown State, Anthony Santoro, is going to go out and talk to Gino DiVincenzo.
And now when you look at the whole, you've sort of dealt yourself here, Mike. You're going against really one of the most impressive and potent offensive teams in the entire conference. You got the bases loaded here. And really, if you're DiVincenzo, it comes down now, as we see the YSU pitching coach trotting out there to talk to him as well. It comes down to refocus and keep your approach as simple as possible. Remember your mechanics, finish off your pitches, and focus on this batter. I think a reason we've seen him get in trouble here, Mike, has been you saw a couple attempts to throw over to second. I know that's what YSU's got to be saying to their young pitcher here. Just focus on the batter, pitch by pitch. You're going to get out of this. You just got to make sure that you don't allow them anything fat right there across the big part of the plate. You could allow them to get a couple of runs here in the early going.
The umpire comes out to tell Coach Merrigan to break up the conference as DiVincenzo tries to work out of a second inning jam with bases loaded and nobody out, and it'll be Bowen Ogata, the designated hitter, will step in for UIC. Only has 10 RBIs so far on the season, but UIC looking for anything in the air to the outfield to try to score Calabrese, who stands at third.
Yeah, really anything that you can give it a ride here.
First pitch, curveball downstairs. Ogata checked his swing, but he held up. Nowhere to place a UIC Flame for DiVincenzo's. He's loaded him up here in the second with nobody gone. There's the pitch, swung on and driven down the line. Foul, as that'll get off into the picnic area here at Eastwood Field. And it'll even up at 1-1.
And Ogata, the junior, hasn't played in a tremendous amount this year, Mike, but somebody nonetheless, they're confident, can come up and get a run across here for the Flames.
1-1. Curveball upstairs, ball 2, as we've seen him in that first inning go to that curveball and was effective. So far in the second, just hasn't had good command on that curveball. It's either been low or it's been high. Just hasn't been able to find the curve that he needs on it. Get over there for a strike.
Placement. We talked about it at the top of the broadcast, Mike.
2-1 upstairs, 3-1 now on Ogata. And DiVincenzo in a little bit of trouble here, 3-1, bases loaded for UIC.
Again, this is a big test for the sophomore, somebody that they're confident is going to be a big part of what this program's doing going forward, but he's got an early test here against the Flames.
3-1, nobody plays a UIC Flame. That pitch is in there for a called strike on the outside part of the plate. Ogata didn't agree with it, but we're full count here with the bases loaded, so the UIC Flames runners will be off on the pitch.
A lot riding here on this pitch, Mike. A lot of DiVincenzo's psyche and a lot of UIC hopes for an early lead. All come down to this pitch here on this 3-2 count.
3-2, nobody out. DiVincenzo looks in. Here's the pitch. Swung on and will do it again at 3-2 as Ogata puts that one out of play.
Again, if you're Ogata, anything close, you're looking to at least lift it into the outfield. Give your third runner a chance to tag up and get home. If you're DiVincenzo, obviously you need a strike here, but you need something that you can hopefully get an out with.
DiVincenzo looks in. Santoro behind the plate. He has his sign. He comes to set and he delivers. Swung on again, fouled straight back, and we'll do it again at 3-2. So DiVincenzo not really wasting any time with any off-speed stuff, coming right at Ogata with the fastball. Seems to be his best pitch right now at the moment.
I think he kind of caught Ogata off guard there. I think he was expecting that deuce, and DiVincenzo brought the heat.
3-2 again. Upstairs, ball 4, and DiVincenzo will walk a run home as Calabrese will touch home, and UIC will strike first. And that'll be the third walk issued in a row by DiVincenzo.
And this is the time where maybe if you're YSU, you want to look to the bullpen, maybe get somebody up and moving. As we've talked about before, calling card of DiVincenzo this season has unfortunately been at times when he gets off on a tangent. He has a tendency to give up quite a few runs. So for YSU, you maybe want to start looking to make a move here, as it appears he's just not really hitting his spots today like you would like to see him do.
First pitch to Brandon Gibbous is in there for a strike. Almost have to think the option of going back to the windup for DiVincenzo. I know the bases are loaded, but even with the windup, you really would take your chances with a runner trying to steal home, as pitching out of the stretch seems to be very uncomfortable for DiVincenzo. So now is the time with the bases loaded, nobody to place anybody, can go back to the windup.
Yeah, just really since he's had to go from the stretch, he just hasn't looked comfortable, Mike. A curveball hasn't had the same kind of action. He's been missing high and really had trouble finding the zone here. So maybe we'll see that kind of adjustment from Merrigan. I'm interested to just see DiVincenzo's approach here. He appears to be hitting his spots a little better up early in this count.
0-2 to Gibbous. He needs a strike here. It's the pitch outside. Ball 1 as he went with that curveball, try to get Gibbous to chase it. 1-2 now. The left fielder, 12 RBIs on the season for UIC, 1 home run. He's only had 84 plate appearances so far in this season. 1-2. Swung on. This one's lifted in the air. This could be trouble. Back for YSU making the catch is the center fielder, but that will tag up and score a run. Will be Oda and UIC 2-0, and that makes a RBI for Gibbous, his 13th on the season, and job well done by the left fielder, Brendan Gibbous.
Yeah, and you see Mickey McDonald and company high-fiving Gibbous coming in. He did his job, got the ball, gave it a ride out there, and more important than anything else, gave UIC a chance to score here and get up on the board early. I think most concerning if you're YSU right now is the number 1. You only have 1 out here with the bases loaded, and it's definitely a precarious situation when you find yourself down early to one of the best teams in the entire league.
We got Mickey McDonald, the number 9 hitter. As Ramirez on that fly out to center did tag up at second and advance to third, so the double play ball in play here for YSU if DiVincenzo can try to find a way to get a ground ball to his middle infield. This one swung on right at the second baseman. He's going to go to 2 for 1. Doesn't have a play at first, and the UIC run will score. So McDonald, give him an RBI. That's his 13th on the season, and UIC is up by 3.
McDonald, a guy that you're really just happy to see him back and playing the game after that gruesome injury last season. It's always a shame when you see a preseason All-Horizon leaguer go down to a season-ending injury, but happy to see him back in action here for the Flames, and especially happy right there with that RBI.
So 3-0 now after McDonald grounds into a fielder's choice. He picks up the RBI, and we'll go back to the top of the order in Norton as he grounded out to the third baseman, his first plate appearance. DiVincenzo throw back to first. Curveball downstairs. A nice job of Bohannon to check his swing. He'll peel down to first. The umpire will say didn't go. And Bohannon now ahead in the count, 2-1.
Great pitch there by Felger. You almost got Bohannon to bite. Has tremendous command of his curveball. It's especially troubling for those righty hitters.
2-1 to Bohannon. Outside part of the plate, called strike 2, and even in the count at 2-2, YSU 1 strike away.
Interested to see if Felger comes right back inside with another pitch or continues to work that outer part of the plate. Maybe throw an off-speed pitch here. Get Bohannon to chase.
2-2 on Bohannon. YSU desperately trying to get out of this inning. Felger looks in. Kicks and delivers. Downstairs, full count.
Trying to get Bohannon to chase there. Get him to swing at something in the dirt. Get an easy out to this inning, so test of wills here. And Bohannon, Felger, we'll see who come out on top. We know these 3-2 situations have worked out exceptionally well for UIC, at least early in this ball game.
Full count again for UIC. The runners will be off on the pitch. Swung on, hit down to the third base line. Nice stop by the third baseman. UIC's going to send a run home and score it. As the third baseman for YSU, Nico Padavin, knocked it down but couldn't keep it in front of him. That's going to be an RBI single for Bohannon, and UIC will bat around here in the second.
Again, Mike, even with the runner scoring, a tremendous play there by Padavin. Is if he doesn't get in front of that ball and at least knock it down, might have had 2 RBIs right there.
So UIC keeps the hit parade going. It's now 5-0 here in the second inning. UIC's batted around. It'll be Calabrese now. He singled and scored a run, his first plate appearance in this inning. You got to think the UIC pitcher Jake Dahlberger trying to figure out a way to stay warm and loose after this inning's almost lasted about a half hour.
That is the good news if you're YSU, is you might have the opportunity to get a similar inning going there with the amount of time you've had sit in this inning.
Felger throws over to first, nothing doing.
Again, Calabrese, another dangerous bat in this UIC lineup.
Felger throws over to first again. Back diving is Bohannon. Got to think if you're YSU to let the runner steal the base, just get him out here, focus on the batter, and get out of this inning. Here's the pitch outside, called strike 1, the outside part of the plate. So if you're YSU, you maybe have to go back to that spot, live on the outside part of the plate, give nothing across the middle for UIC. It seems every time UIC has been ahead in counts and have gotten a plate over the middle, they've done a good job driving the ball, putting it in play, making YSU make the mistakes.
Yeah, we saw Felger right there against Bohannon really leave that inside pitch a little high, and Bohannon able to get around on it and shoot that ball down the left field line.
0-1 on Calabrese. 2 outs here in the second. Downstairs, ball 1. Nice stop by Santoro again.
Santoro's had his work cut out for him today. Really, if it wasn't for him behind the dish, who knows, there might be a couple more runs up on that board for UIC.
It's tough for a catcher. It's an inning, half inning going on for about 30 minutes. You're in a stance for about 30 minutes straight. Got to be tough exercise and workout on your legs as well. 1-1. Downstairs, blocked by Santoro. They'll throw down to second. He'll fake it, and down to second will go Bohannon. Like we said, YSU not really concerned about that runner right now, just trying to get out of this inning.
That's why I found it a little odd, Mike. He was thrown over to first as much as he was with 2 outs and obviously a man on third, but nonetheless, now find yourself in a situation where you really Got to make Calabrese work here with 2 men in scoring position. Number 1 of a 3-game series here. You're looking for a little better showing. And I know obviously when you're playing a team of this caliber, you don't need to help them out. They're going to get theirs, and it really comes down to limiting what they're able to do. So the fact that you've struggled to keep them in check here in the early going, it does not bode well for the rest of this ball game or the rest of the series.
First pitch to Scott Oda's in there for a strike.
Again, we know this UIC team is the best in the conference in terms of getting on base through one form or fashion. Not shocking to see them have that kind of success here today at Eastwood Field.
Oda walked and scored a run his first plate appearance. This one swung on, hit on the ground to second. Throw it over to Kendrick, and YSU was finally out of the inning, but not before UIC puts 5 on the board in the second. We'll come to the home half of the second inning. It'll be the big boys up for YSU. They need some power here this afternoon to get back into this one.
You're here to be part of something bigger, to make things happen. For you, college is about knowledge being shared and learning experiences that aren't limited to the classroom. On campus, you want to matter. It's about engaging every day, building relationships with students, with mentors, with the community, in the heart of a reinvented city. We are that something bigger. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
The Penguin Club supports your Youngstown State student athletes.
Thanks to the Penguin Club, our student athletes are given the chance to win a championship and, more importantly, earn a degree.
Join the Penguin Club to support YSU and benefit from priority season tickets, game day parking, and access to hospitality suites.
Be a part of the team behind the teams.
Join the Penguin Club and make a difference.
Call 330-9411-YSU or go to ysusports.com for more information.
You're looking to your future. Preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
4-5-6 due up for YSU here in the home half of the second inning, trailing 5-0 as UIC put a 5 spot up in the top half of the second inning due to a lot of walks in for the Youngstown State pitching YSU into their bullpen, but it'll be Andrew Kendrick, the big boy, will lead off for YSU here in the home half of the second. 14 home runs, 33 runs driven in so far for Kendrick on the season, as he's already broken the school record for home runs in a season, as his own record will continue to climb.
So we know we're watching Jake Dahlberg here, a former Horizon League Pitcher of the Year, going up what could be the 2017 Horizon League Batter of the Year in Andrew Kendrick. So really one of the big matchups of today and of this series is Kendrick and Dahlberg.
1-0 to Kendrick. Think UIC might be hesitant with Kendrick. With a 5-run lead, you kind of can be cautious with him and put him on base. Don't really have to give him anything he needs to hit.
Yeah, I can really make him work here, and obviously I think that's what boded the most trouble for YSU there in the first 2 innings of play, was their inability to make those batters work and get ahead early in the count.
Pitch is downstairs, 3-0 to Kendrick. The good thing about Kendrick is you see the power numbers, 14 home runs, 33 runs driven in, but he's got a 3.02 average and a 4.03 on-base percentage. So he's not just that type of hitter that'll hit a home run and then strike out his other 3 at-bats. He's a very consistent hitter for YSU. That pitch is in there for a strike, 3-1 now on the first baseman.
Yeah, the one thing you see Kendrick that he does so well that many other power hitters struggle with is not chasing. He's really a guy that stays within himself and has his pitch that he likes to sit on, but does a tremendous job of staying within himself.
3-1, swung on and driven in the air. Back is the center fielder, McDonald. He'll be at the warning track, and he'll make the catch, leaping into the wall as Andrew Kendrick drove it to the farthest part of the ballpark. Any other part of this Eastwood Field, that would have been gone, but Andrew Kendrick is out number 1.
Displaying some of that power right there. He was trying to cut into that lead himself.
McDonald had to chase back to the warning track and didn't really need to, but he leaped into the wall to make the catch. But nonetheless, a long fly out for YSU and 1 up, 1 down. That'll bring up Nico Padavin, 298 average on the season, 1 home run, 16 runs driven in.
And obviously when you talk about this Penguin Ball Club, Kendrick's the first name that comes up. Padavin really the second, as he sits second in a variety of offensive categories and is a stalwart over there at third base.
This pitch is swung on foul. Dahlberg ahead in the count, 0-2. 19 hits on the season for Padavin. 404 average. He's stolen 5 bases in 8 attempts. This one swung on, lifted foul again.
So if you're Padavin here, you got to stay aggressive. Obviously down in a hole here, you got to foul anything off that you can't give a ride and put in play.
0-2 to the third baseman as Dahlberger tries to work ahead. This one swung on, driven down the line, and that'll be foul again into the fun zone down the left field line.
And I know the UIC team is breathing a sigh of relief right there, as that one was a rocket, but unable to keep it fair.
Dahlberger kicks and fires upstairs, ball 1. Still ahead of the count, 1-2.
And again, that's really been a telltale sign of Dahlberg. His entire career has been his ability to get ahead in the count and make that batter work, make them chase that tremendous curveball he has.
Swung on, flipped it foul again. Padavin doing a nice job staying alive as Dahlberger not really giving anything great to hit, but Padavin doing a nice job just staying alive, fouling some pitches off. Here's the 1-2. Swung on, lifted foul again.
And if you're Padavin here, despite starting in that 0-2 hole, you battled here nicely and really shaping up to be a solid at-bat. No one's really made Dahlberg work yet, and that's really what you're just trying to make him do, trying to allow your teammates to see as many pitches as they can.
Outside, ball 2 is now Padavin has worked it back to even. As Dahlberg looks to retire his 5th straight Penguin.
Interesting to see if Dahlberg comes back inside here or he sticks with the outer half of the plate.
2-2. Swung on, lifted foul again. Padavin doing a nice job of really making Dahlberg work. We're approaching double-digit pitches again in that bat.
Dahlberg knows Padavin's sweet spot is that inside corner where he can really turn on things. He's working with the outer half of the plate. Look for him to maybe come inside here with an off-speed pitch, try and get Padavin to chase.
Downstairs, and that's exactly what he did, as Padavin is the first strikeout victim of the afternoon, and the first one recorded by Jake Dahlberg, making that number 46 on the season. 2 away here in the second inning.
If you're Trey Brightis here stepping up to the dish, the one thing I would keep in mind is not allowing Dahlberg to get ahead. Want to be patient, wait for your pitch, and try and make him work here a little bit, something that, despite Nico Padavin's nice at-bat, a couple Penguins have struggled to do today.
First pitch by Brightis on the outside part of the plate, strike 1. Brightis 243 average on the season, 13 runs driven in, 430 slugging percentage. Dahlberg delivers a pitch strike upstairs. Brightis doesn't agree with it, but Dahlberg ahead in the count 0-2 and trying to retire 6 straight Penguins so far in this game.
If you're Trey Brightis, you got to choke up on the bat a little bit here and stay off the junk.
Here's the 0-2. Swung on and missed, and he'll tag Brightis, and that'll be the second strikeout of the inning for Dahlberg, and 3 up, 3 down again for YSU. Will move to the third inning where the Penguins trail 5-0.
You're here to be part of something bigger, to make things happen. For you, college is about knowledge being shared and learning experiences that aren't limited to the classroom. On campus, you want to matter. It's about engaging every day, building relationships with students, with mentors, with the community, in the heart of a reinvented city. We are that something bigger. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
The Penguin Club supports your Youngstown State student athletes.
Thanks to the Penguin Club, our student athletes are given the chance to win a championship and, more importantly, earn a degree.
Join the Penguin Club to support YSU and benefit from priority season tickets, game day parking, and access to hospitality suites.
Be a part of the team behind the teams.
Join the Penguin Club and make a difference.
Call 330-9411. YSU or go to ysusports.com for more information.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Ramirez, Ogata, and Gibbous due up for UIC here in the third inning. Ramirez walked and scored a run his first plate appearance last inning. Still on the mound for YSU is Dion Felger. He'll work his second inning in relief.
And Felger struggled a little bit with placement there. First couple batters he faced, and important for him here to just get ahead early, hit your spots, and stay within yourself.
First pitch upstairs to Ramirez. This one swung on, fouled right back. 1-1 now. YSU really could use put a 0 up on the board for UIC. Try to go 1-2-3 to get themselves some confidence and try to get back into this game, trailing by 5.
That's a tall order, Mike, when you're going against a team that's really either first or second in pretty much every major offensive category for this conference.
2-1 now on Ramirez. Swung on, fouled off Santoro's mid, and it evens it up at 2-2.
Again, a big reason for this UIC lead that you see here has been their ability to get on base, and it's really been mostly through walks, as this is a team that sits second in the conference in walks.
YSU still looking to register their first strikeout with the pitching staff here this afternoon. Opportunity here, 2-2. Upstairs just missed, and that makes the count 3-2 on Ramirez.
Really the biggest complaint here for if you're the head coach Dan Bertolini has been the consistency of his pitching staff. At times you've been brilliant. You're actually second in the league in strikeouts, but we've seen it today. It's really just shooting themselves in their own foot at times.
3-2, lifted foul. We'll do it again at a full count.
Fingers crossed that wasn't my car there, Mike.
I think that was a sound effect, John.
I was aware.
I think we're in stable position, being farther away. Here's a 3-2 to Ramirez. Swung on, hit at the third baseman, Padavin. He'll fire over quickly to Kendrick, and they'll retire Ramirez. A nice play by Padavin at the hot corner to retire Ramirez.
Padavin really somebody that's been such an asset to this Penguin ball club, able to play a variety of positions in the infield well, to spend time at both shortstop and third base, but especially a brick wall over there at the hot corner at third base.
Here's Ogata, the DH. He walked in the second inning. First pitch swung on, foul tipped, strike one.
Again, we talked about Ogata, a guy that's touted much more for his defense, but today he's been able to come up clutch, able to get a big walk there and get UIC on the board.
Here's the 0-1 to Ogata. Curveball in there for a strike. A nice pitch. Changes speed by Felger. Got Ogata off guard and hit that outside part of the plate. Now ahead in the count, 0-2.
It's a big pitch there by Felger. We've seen him throw that curveball on the inner half of the plate, but right there works it beautifully on the outer half.
Swung on again, lifted into center field. Back racing and tracking it in center field is Brightus, and he makes the catch. 2 away here in the second inning. Nice play by Trey Brightus out in center field, taking his first step back and covering a decent amount of ground to make that catch. And that's 2 up, 2 down for UIC here in the third. That'll bring up Brandon Gibbous. Gibbous flew out to center his first plate appearance, but drove in a run with that pop out to center. First pitch to Gibbous is outside, ball 1.
Again, Gibbous did his job last time up. Gave that ball a ride, allowed a UIC runner to score, and now a little more freedom here.
YSU desperately could use a 3-up, 3-down here in the third inning as they're 1 out away from doing so. Gibbous ahead in the count 2-0.
Again, Gibbous, someone that's been around for this ball club quite a bit.
A pitch on the outside part of the plate called strike 1.
Senior started in 43 of 45 games last season. Despite batting just .260, has really been a clutch hitter more than anything else over his 2 years at UIC.
This one lifted into right field. Backtracking is the right fielder for YSU. It's going to be off the wall. Gibbous is going to round second. He's going to head for a third, and he'll be in there for a stand-up triple for Brandon Gibbous as the right fielder, Lorenzo Arcuri, couldn't get to it as he chased it back and just ran out of real estate, and the ball bounced off the wall, and Gibbous is in there for a stand-up triple.
Again, Gibbous, we were just talking about it, not somebody that is exactly been touted for his bat during his career, but right there, get some good contact and just gave that ball a ride.
Arcuri was chasing it back but ran out of real estate, trying to deal with the sun as well, and that ball went off the Comdoc sign out and right. And Gibbous is in there for a 2-out triple. Here's Mickey McDonald. He grounded into a fielder's choice, stole a base, scored a run, in with that fielder's choice, had an RBI, so quite a, on that bat, first at bat for Mickey McDonald. He did a lot for UIC, now he has an opportunity for another RBI with a guy on third.
And we talked about it his last time up. Mickey McDonald's a kid that his UIC coaching staff is really just happy to see back and playing the sport. Somebody that prior to 2016 was a all-league preseason pick and had a terrible injury that cut his season short.
This one swinging and driven into center field. Back again is the center fielder for YSU, and Brightus makes the catch out in center, covering a lot of ground again, but a nice job tracking it down. He retires and no damage done. The man left on third for UIC. We'll head to the home half of the third inning with UIC up 5-0.
You're here to be part of something bigger, to make things happen. For you, college is about knowledge being shared and learning experiences that aren't limited to the classroom. On campus, you want to matter. It's about engaging every day, building relationships with students, with mentors, with the community, in the heart of a reinvented city. We are that something bigger. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
The Penguin Club supports your Youngstown State student athletes.
Thanks to the Penguin Club, our student athletes are given the chance to win a championship and, more importantly, earn a degree.
Join the Penguin Club to support YSU and benefit from priority season tickets, game day parking, and access to hospitality suites.
Be a part of the team behind the teams.
Join the Penguin Club and make a difference.
Call 330-9411-YSU or go to ysusports.com for more information.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
7-8-9 due up for YSU here in the home half of the third inning. Will be Charo, Santoro, and Benyo. YSU still trying to make their rounds through their lineup as they have not done so yet in this game. UIC, next time they come up to bat, will be their leadoff hitter's third plate appearance on the afternoon. So you can, just by that stat alone, you can tell the difference in this game.
Yeah, Mike, really just tale of two different ball clubs at two different points in the season. We know UIC is second in the conference for a reason. Team more than capable at firing on all aspects of the game, really, and you've gotten a great look here at one of the best pitchers in the entire Horizon League and really in UIC history in Jake Dahlberg.
Dahlberg back to work. First pitch strike to Webb Charles. That one downstairs, 1-1. Charles coming into this game, .263 average, 0 home runs, and 6 RBIs. He's one of 2 players in the starting lineup for YSU that has not registered a home run yet. This one lifted into the air, and it'll be play in the infield. The second baseman will take charge and retire Webb Charles as David Cronin retires Charles, and 1 up, 1 down here in the third.
And again, that really hasn't been a problem for this Youngstown State team. Home runs have been what this ball club does best.
Catcher Anthony Santoro now digs in for YSU as they're still looking for their first hit on the afternoon. Santoro, .217 average on the season. He's walked 4 times, struck out 12.
Santoro, junior here on this YSU ball club out of Syracuse, New York.
First pitch, Santoro in there for a strike. Dahlberg making quick and efficient work of YSU so far. That next pitch downstairs, 1-1.
And one pitch we've seen him throw effectively is really one spot rather has been that inside corner. He's been working it. It's a big reason here. He's had full command of this YSU lineup through the first 3 innings.
1-1 on Santoro as Dahlberg looks in, gets the sign. Kicks and delivers. Swung on and lifted, foul out of play. One and 2 now on Santoro. 1 away here in the home half of the third. 5-0 UIC leads. 5 runs on 4 hits for UIC, 0 runs on 0 hits for YSU to this point. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed, and Santoro was set down on strikes, and UIC thought that was the 3rd out of the inning. Their catcher kind of tossed it back.
Well, that is embarrassing, Mike. There's no other way to put it out there.
Lucky nobody was on base, because that would have been a free pass for YSU.
You know, if you're UIC, you shake that one off there if you're Calabrese, and obviously not a math major, but that's okay.
2 down here in the
Tremendous hitter.
3rd inning for YSU, as that was the 4th strikeout by Dahlberg so far this afternoon. Here's Kyle Benyo. He ropes one into left field, but right at the left fielder for UIC makes the catch, and that's 3 up, 3 down again. Dahlberg has went through the order for YSU, retiring all 9 in a row. Move to the 4th inning where the UIC Flames on top, 5-0.
You're here to be part of something bigger, to make things happen. For you, college is about knowledge being shared and learning experiences that aren't limited to the classroom. On campus, you want to matter. It's about engaging every day, building relationships with students, with mentors, with the community, in the heart of a reinvented city. We are that something bigger. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
The Penguin Club supports your Youngstown State student athletes.
Thanks to the Penguin Club, our student athletes are given the chance to win a championship and, more importantly, earn a degree.
Join the Penguin Club to support YSU and benefit from priority season tickets, game day parking, and access to hospitality suites.
Be a part of the team behind the teams.
Join the Penguin Club and make a difference.
Call 330-9411-YSU or go to ysusports.com for more information.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Norton, Cronin, and Bohannick drew up for UIC, the top of the lineup, as they will each have their 3rd plate appearance so far this afternoon. UIC working through their lineup for the 3rd time. YSU next inning will just be hitting their top of their lineup for the 2nd time. Norton 0 for 1 on the day, grounded out the 3rd in his first plate appearance, walked and scored a run in his 2nd.
Norton have a tremendous year, and really after batting .260 in 2016, turn around and through 28 games played, you're batting .340. That's definitely the kind of improvement I know this UIC ball club was looking for him this season.
Swung on, driven into the gap. This could be trouble. Arcuri will get to it, but still before a single for the leadoff for Norton. That'll be a leadoff single for UIC here in the 4th inning.
And despite getting some help here from the YSU pitching staff, we know this ball club is known for their bats and leading the league in hits. It's not surprising that you see them start this inning off with a bang as well.
That'll bring up now David Cronin. He flew out to left his first plate appearance. Waters got a single in his second plate appearance. Felger still working in relief here. Hasn't given up a run. All 5 runs were charged at Gino DiVincenzo, the starter for the Penguins. Curveball downstairs, ball 1.
When you talk about the many potent bats on this UIC lineup, might be none more so than Cronin. Led the team in hits last year, having another fantastic campaign in 2017.
There's the 1-0 outside, ball 2. Norton down at first base has attempted 6 stolen base attempts on the season. He's been caught 3 times and has been successful 3 times. So definitely Felger doesn't have to pay close attention to, but has to recognize Norton over there at first.
Well, and that's something, if you're Mike D of UIC, you've definitely hammered home, and every single player that's going to see the field today, you know this Penguin ball club really struggles.
This one driven out of play down the right field line.
Struggles especially when it comes to holding runners on base, and actually has allowed the most stolen bases in the Horizon League this season. So definitely something we know with the pedigree of Mike D that he has made sure his players are aware of.
Two and 1 on Cronin here in the 4th. Felger looks in, checks first again. Here's the pitch. Cronin showed bunt but pulled it back. Now 3 and 1.
And if you're head coach Dan Bertolini, when you look across the diamond at Mike D, really what this UIC program is, I think is what Bertolini envisions and hopes to see from his program over the next few seasons. And you look at the success this UIC team and program has had, producing a number of pro players.
That pitch is downstairs, and that'll be a walk for Cronin. So the first 2 reach here in the 4th inning for UIC. And on the afternoon, that is just the 5th walk issued by Youngstown State. So the Penguins, like we said earlier, not really making UIC do much, giving out 5 free passes and not even through 3 innings.
And we talked about it, when you're going against a team that's as talented and successful as UIC has been this season, you can't help them. They're going to get theirs. You really have to try and limit their production and make them uncomfortable, get them out of their comfort zone, and not something the Penguins have been able to do today.
Here's Cody Bohannick, the shortstop, shows bunt, pulls it back, but a called strike. So UIC maybe trying to play a little bit of small ball and uses sack bunt to advance the runners, as Bohannick, his last plate appearance, single and drove in a run.
Again, many of you familiar with Cody Bohannick after that tremendous performance he had last year in the Horizon League tournament. Batted .333, a couple of doubles, 4 RBIs for the Flames.
There's the 0-1, swung on a miss, a nice pitch by Felger, took something off of it.
And Felger appears to really be settling in at this point. Despite giving up a couple hits here, he's hitting his spots better than he was when he came in relief for DiVincenzo.
0-2 on Bohannick. RBI single, his last plate appearance in the 2nd. Felger looks in. Here's the pitch. UIC runners are off on the pitch, a hit and run. Kendrick will try to reach into foul ground to make the catch, but he won't have a play. We'll do it again at 0-2. UIC elected to put on the hit and run on that pitch, and both the runners were off, and maybe try to get aggressive here in the 4th inning with a 5-run cushion, and 2 on and nobody out. So we'll see if the hit and run's on again here for UIC. 0-2 again to Bohannick.
For Bohannick, you want to shorten up your swing a little bit here, try and defend, especially on that outer part of the plate where we're seeing Felger working all day long.
Here's the pitch outside, ball one, and UIC was not off on the pitch though, so maybe you think that hit and run that Bohannic fouled off was maybe of a mind game to get in the head of Felger as he delivered a ball outside.
Well, this UIC ball club has done a tremendous job, it appears, of distracting the YSU pitchers. As times where both you and I have said they should focus on the batter, they've been checking the runner, thrown over to first.
UIC off on the pitch, and that's inside, ball two, and not even a throw from Santoros. Didn't really have a play at either base, and now 2-2 is the count as both UIC runners had a pretty good jump.
Credit to Mike D here, as when it appeared Felger was really settling in and hitting his spots, trying to keep him out of his rhythm here, and he's been able to do that today, both with DiVincenzo and Felger, and moving the runners on the base paths.
2-2 on Bohannic, second and third, nobody out for UIC in the fourth. Here's the pitch outside, full count now, and YSU again is one ball away from loading them up with nobody out, and we know how that worked out for YSU in the second.
Again, if you're Felger here, you really hoping you can get a strikeout or at least one out up on the board.
Here's the pitch, swung on, foul down the left field line, and we'll do it again at 3-2.
What's funny, Mike, is when you look at these two teams, it appears YSU's one of their biggest weaknesses has been giving up stolen bases, and that goes right into what UIC, one of their biggest strengths has been, as they lead the league in stolen bases.
See what Felger comes with here on the 3-2 pitch. Just got to think, put a fastball over the plate, make your defense make a play. Felger gets the sign, he kicks and delivers. Outside, ball four, and Bohannic will reach on a walk, and bases loaded, nobody out again for UIC.
And again, just reading the body language a little bit here of head coach Dan Bertolini, obviously frustrated with his team shown here through the first 3-4 innings. Was hoping for a much better showing against one of the better programs in this season, one of the better teams in the Horizon League, in the UIC Flames.
Now to bring up Rob Calabrese. He batted twice in the second inning, and he led off the second inning with a single and then scored a run and then came up again and drew a walk. So one for one on the day for Calabrese so far. Nobody out. Bases loaded for UIC. Felger trying to work out of the jam. First pitch downstairs, ball one. Nobody warming in the Youngstown State bullpen, so it's Felger who's going to get the work here in the fourth inning to try to get out of it, as head coach Dan Bertolini has elected to not really try to burn through his bullpen only in game number one of this doubleheader, with the doubleheader again tomorrow. This one swung on, drifted into the left field corner over his Rohan, but he'll be out of play, and that'll be a foul ball, a long foul for UIC, and we'll do it again at 1-1.
Anthony Rowan wanted to go over there and make a play, but lifted that one just foul. Plenty of power there by Calabrese, and he would have liked to see maybe a little Carlton Fisk right there and pray that one went fair, but fortunately actually for the Penguins, that one drifts foul.
Yeah, you have to think it actually might be a positive for YSU. If Rohan was to make that catch in left field, there was zero chance he would have the arm strength to throw somebody out at home plate. So really, you're just giving UIC an RBI, and I think they would take that over and out with the 5-run cushion. Here's the 1-1. Swung on, lifted in the air again. Back in center field is Brightus. He'll make the catch. Tagging up and scoring will be Norton for UIC. They'll try to get the runner at second, but will not be able to do so. So Calabrese gets an RBI fly out, and UIC now up 6-0.
And again, one of the reasons you see this team's currently sit second in the Horizon League is their ability to really focus on the situational plays right there. Obviously needed a sacrifice fly, and really been a tremendous focus to detail here by this UIC ball club, realizing the situation and ultimately following through and producing in those big moments.
One away here in the fourth for Scott Oda. His last plate appearance, he walked and scored a run. Swung on, hit up the middle. This could be trouble. Rounding third for UIC, and this will score 2. So Scott Oda's got a 1-out, 2-run single, and UIC now way ahead, now 8-0.
Dan Bertolini, we saw he was hoping to maybe work here with Felger for a majority of this 4th inning, but we're starting to see some activity there in the Youngstown State bullpen. As Felger has struggled since his insertion there in the top half of the 2nd inning.
So Cronin and Bohannon come in to score for UIC, and Oda now on the season. He has 31 RBIs, and UIC's up 8-0. First pitch swinging is Ramirez. He lifts it into foul play. Kendricks underneath it. He'll squeeze it, and 2 away for UIC here in the 4th.
Despite that play right there by Ramirez really reaching and first pitch swinging, I think a big reason you've seen this 8-run lead has been the patience of UIC, especially at the plate. They really have made sure that they're the ones dictating the count and getting ahead of whether it's been Felger or DiVincenzo. They've really did a tremendous job of not chasing and staying within themselves, waiting on their pitch.
Here's Bowen Agoda. His last plate appearance, he flew out to the center fielder. First pitch outside, ball 1. UIC 8 runs on 6 hits so far in this game. YSU still looking to register their first hit. The 1-0 inside, ball 2.
Felger already here at 50 pitches, and we'll see how many more they ride him out here as we're seeing some activity in the YSU bullpen, and looks like they're going to be making a change here.
2-0, swung on, driven down the left field line. Rowan will not be able to get to it. That's going to bounce off the wall and be a ground rule double. That kicks over the left field wall, and that'll be a 2-bagger for Agoda.
Agoda, not somebody known for his power hitting, but right there, just great contact. Gave that one a ride out to left field, and if he had a couple more feet on that one, it could have been a home run.
So a 2-out ground rule double for Agoda. That'll put runners on 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs for UIC for Brandon Gibbous. Gibbous had a triple his last plate appearance. He rocketed one to right field where Lorenzo Arcuri couldn't get to it. So,
ironically, Mike, the Flames' best hit of the day really didn't amount to anything.
This ball swung on, hitting the right field again. This is going to score 2, and Gibbous will have his 2nd RBI in the season as UIC will score 2 standing up, and it's now a double-digit lead for the Flames here in the 4th inning.
Well, we remarked earlier, Mike, that YSU really didn't have a tremendous amount of concern when, you're down 4 runs in the early part of the game, a tremendous amount of the game left, but now you find yourself here in a 10-run hole, starting to get into that territory of things perhaps being insurmountable.
Mickey McDonald up again for UIC, and if he were to reach, the Flames will batter around in their order for the 2nd inning this game.
I think perhaps what you're seeing really here from the UIC Flames is the display of Mike D to really get his hitters having pretty much a major league approach. A guy that's been touted for his ability to get some of his players to the major league level. 17 former Flames have gone on to play in Major League Baseball, most notably Curtis Granderson. So that is really a program trait, is their ability to control the at-bat and not allow the opposing pitchers to dictate the tempo of the game.
1-0 swung on, foul down the left field line for McDonald. So the Penguins looking for anything to try to get out of this 4th inning as UIC has put a 5 spot up on the board. Lead 10-0 here in the 4th inning. This one swung on, lifts it into right field. Charging hard as Brightis will make a diving catch, and a nice play by Trey Brightis out in center field. And that's the 2nd time in a row that McDonald has flew out to the center fielder. Move to the home half of the 4th inning. YSU looking for anything and everything on offense, trailing 10-0.
You're here to be part of something bigger, to make things happen. For you, college is about knowledge being shared and learning experiences that aren't limited to the classroom. On campus, you want to matter. It's about engaging every day, building relationships with students, with mentors, with the community, in the heart of a reinvented city. We are that something bigger. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
The Penguin Club supports your Youngstown State student athletes.
Thanks to the Penguin Club, our student athletes are given the chance to win a championship and, more importantly, earn a degree.
Join the Penguin Club to support YSU and benefit from priority season tickets, game day parking, and access to hospitality suites.
Be a part of the team behind the teams.
Join the Penguin Club and make a difference.
Call 330-9411-YSU or go to ysusports.com for more information.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
The top of the order due up for YSU. As we move to the home half of the fourth inning will be Rohan, Arcuri, and Willoughby. YSU still looking for their first hit on the afternoon. Jake Dahlberg has been fantastic on the bump for UIC so far this afternoon.
And Dahlberg, this is no surprise. Somebody that has already won Horizon League Pitcher of the Year and has really displayed his ability the last 4 seasons at UIC and continues to climb that UIC all-time wins board and looks to improve upon that mark here today.
First pitch swinging is Rohan, and out to right field, and calling off the second baseman is the right fielder Scott Oda, who retires Rohan in 1 pitch, 1 out here in the fourth inning for YSU.
It might be something we take for granted right there, but hats off to those UIC fielders communicating there. I can't tell you how many times it feels like you're watching a major league game and 2 guys collide. It's really one of the small parts of the game that you think shouldn't happen, but more often than not, you do have quite a few collisions there on those hitting instances.
Lorenzo Arcuri up for YSU. He flew out to left his first plate appearance. First pitch by Dahlberg is downstairs, but it called strike. Inside part of the plate called strike 2. Dahlberg really doing a nice job hitting his spots. He's in a groove.
Perhaps what Dahlberg's been able to do most that we just haven't seen any YSU batter do is command his spots.
The 0-2 outside.
Especially that inside corner, that low and inside spot. Whether it's been the fastball or the curveball, he has been working that low inside corner, and the YSU hitters have not been able to get around on it yet in this ball game.
1-2 to Rohan. Swung on, driven into right field. Back is the right fielder for UIC. He's at the wall, but will make the catch is Scott Oda. And they'll retire Rowan. 2 up, 2 down. So 2 batters in a row flown out to Oda out there in right field. That'll bring up now Shane Willoughby. He was a strikeout victim his first plate appearance.
And Willoughby, on top of being one of the better hitters on this YSU ball club, really makes an argument for the best facial hair out of anybody on this team.
A lot of facial hair for YSU as they're the team of the mustache.
Yeah, and it's actually interesting when you talk to head coach Dan Bertolini, why do we see these mustaches? He said he handed down a mandate here in the early part of the season that he didn't want any beards.
Ball swung on, driven into the center field gap, but at the wall making the catch is Mickey McDonald, and 3 up, 3 down, and Jake Dahlberg's got a perfect game through 4. We'll move to the 5th inning. UIC all over YSU, 10-0.
You're here to be part of something bigger, to make things happen. For you, college is about knowledge being shared and learning experiences that aren't limited to the classroom. On campus, you want to matter. It's about engaging every day, building relationships with students, with mentors, with the community, in the heart of a reinvented city. We are that something bigger. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
The Penguin Club supports your Youngstown State student athletes.
Thanks to the Penguin Club, our student athletes are given the chance to win a championship and, more importantly, earn a degree.
Join the Penguin Club to support YSU and benefit from priority season tickets, game day parking, and access to hospitality suites.
Be a part of the team behind the teams.
Join the Penguin Club and make a difference.
Call 330-9411-YSU or go to ysusports.com for more information.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Top of the order due up for UIC, Norton, Cronin, Bohannic. UIC working on their fourth turn through the lineup. Quite the difference so far in this game, in game number one of this doubleheader.
And again, Norton, somebody that coming into this game batting just around 280, has received quite a few boosts here on the day from the Penguins.
We saw YSU warming up someone in the bullpen, but they'll stick with Felger to begin the fifth.
Again, when you look at that last inning for Felger, it was someone at the beginning you thought maybe he was turning a corner, had started to hit his spots, and then it was a couple base running tactician moves there by Mike D, sort of rattled the young man and struggled the rest of the way out. But nonetheless, we sit here 10-0 UIC.
2-1 swung on by Norton, strike two. And luckily for YSU, after today, UIC will leave town. And the Milwaukee Panthers will come in, as they will have a doubleheader tomorrow against Milwaukee at 12 and 3:30. We'll have one of those games, same thing, on YouTube to broadcast it for you. And Felger retires the first leadoff hitter for Norton in a strikeout victim number one for UIC. That's their first strikeout on the afternoon. So one away here in the fifth, and that'll bring up the second baseman David Cronin. He walked and scored a run and stole the base his last plate appearance. So a good start to the fifth inning for Norton, or for Felger, excuse me, as UIC all over YSU 10-0.
Really, if you're Felger, you're finally able to do something that
Swung on, driven into left field, but Rowan is right there to make the catch, as Cronin gave it a ride, went right at Rowan.
And really, what you look at the output for this YSU team, they've had some solid cuts, but really they've just been hit right to people, and you see that sort of happening there for UIC. So I'm sure if you're YSU, you're happy to see a little bit of the turn of the luck there.
Penguins looking for their first 1-2-3 innings since the first inning. They can do that if they can retire Cody Bohannic, who walked and scored a run his last plate appearance. First pitch on the outside part of the plate, strike one.
And really, despite a promising start here, we know a 48-minute inning proved to be quite possibly an insurmountable lead here for the UIC Flames.
0-1, swung on, fouled back. 0-2 now on Bohannic. So YSU one strike away from retiring 3 UIC Flames in a row and getting out of the fifth inning.
We almost had a little action up here in the press box.
Almost. Told you I brought my glove.
That's all right. I was a tremendous Little League fielder. I think you're
There's the
safely
0-2 downstairs. Think you got me?
I got you covered. Don't ask me to hit the ball, but I can definitely stop it.
I'd appreciate that. My cat-like reflexes have kind of dispersed over the years.
Well, you know, fortunately enough, I am in peak physical condition, and reflexes are firing on all cylinders for myself, so.
Sounds good.
You're in good company, my friend.
1-2 outside, check swing, didn't go. And that'll even count at 2-2.
Some fans starting to trickle in here at this noon start for the ball game. Beautiful day for baseball. A little chilly, but sun is shining nonetheless.
2-2 on Bohannic. Walked and scored a run his last plate appearance. Felger gets the sign, he delivers. Swung on, foul tipped at the plate. We'll do it again.
And both times up against Bohannock, Felger has been trying to work that outer half of the plate and then come back inside. Bohannock's been able to sit on that inside pitch and make him pay for it. Both times he came inside, and Bohannock's been able to turn on that one.
2-2 on the shortstop for UIC. 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit the shortstop, fielded by Willoughby. He'll pick it up, throw over to first to Kendrick, who will scoop it out, but 3 up, 3 down for UIC in the fifth. Maybe a little bit of a momentum for YSU as they come to bat, trailing 10-0.
You're here to be part of something bigger, to make things happen. For you, college is about knowledge being shared and learning experiences that aren't limited to the classroom. On campus, you want to matter. It's about engaging every day, building relationships with students, with mentors, with the community, in the heart of a reinvented city. We are that something bigger. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
The Penguin Club supports your Youngstown State student athletes.
Thanks to the Penguin Club, our student athletes are given the chance to win a championship and, more importantly, earn a degree.
Join the Penguin Club to support YSU and benefit from priority season tickets, game day parking, and access to hospitality suites.
Be a part of the team behind the teams.
Join the Penguin Club and make a difference.
Call 330-9411-YSU or go to ysusports.com for more information.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Move to the home half of the fifth inning. It'll be Kendrick, Padavon, and Brightus up for YSU. Kendrick will lead off for the Penguins. Hit one to the warning track in center, his first plate appearance. So he's quite worth the price of admission to get to watch him hit. As you talked about, John, one of the best pitchers in the Horizon League, going against arguably the best hitter in the Horizon League.
And Kendrick, the JUCO transfer, is really someone that's been a bright spot for this YSU team that we've seen. Really had some encouraging moments, but has struggled with consistency, and that's really what has been their biggest downfall. The talent's been there, and the ability has been there as well. It just comes to putting it all together and staying consistent over 9 innings.
First pitch to Kendrick on the outside part of the plate, strike one. So we have a plane fly overhead here, John.
Probably from the Vienna Air Base.
Good observation, good inference. 0-1 to the first baseman. Here's the pitch, swung on and lifted a mile into the air, but not deep. The second baseman's under it, Cronin, and he'll make the catch, retiring Kendrick. 1 out here in the fifth.
Right there, you saw Kendrick. I think if he would have came through that ball cleanly and not dropped his elbow, you might have had a higher prospect of getting on there, but dropped the elbow and lifted that one lazily into shallow right field.
Nico Padavin will be up for YSU. He struck out his first plate appearance. Still a perfect game for Jake Dahlberg. I'm trying to, as much as I would hate to say, I'm trying to maybe jinx him a little bit.
It's horrible, Michael. Absolutely horrible.
You know what? Let him throw a perfect game.
Well, watch right here. Somebody's going to get a hit and jinx that. You've broken the golden rule of broadcasting baseball, Michael, and talking about the performance of the pitcher. How does that feel? How does that feel?
We got another plane flying over.
Well, I'll just make sure Jake Dahlberg knows that if things do not work out for him today, where he knows where to find you and who to thank.
Normally, you get your updates on your phone through anybody's went through 5 innings, whether they have a perfect game or no hitter. So he still has to retire 2 more outs to even talk about it. Swung on, foul, down the third base line. I do look at my score sheet. I see no walks, no hits for YSU so far. So Jake Dahlberg has been in total command here so far through 4 1/3.
And something you've seen here is the YSU pitch hitters really trying to be aggressive in the early part of the at-bat. You've seen hitter after hitter. Dahlberg is,
They're trying to break up the no-no.
as it were, Mike.
2-2 on Padovan. As we sit in the fifth, 1 out. For UIC, it's 10 runs on 8 hits. No errors. Swung on, drilled up the gap in center field, but making the catch is Mickey McDonald. So 2 up, 2 down for YSU.
And that's really perhaps been one of the most maddening things for this Penguin ball club today has been the fact that they've had some really good swings, made some solid contact and given the ball a ride, but frankly, it's just been right to a UIC fielder every single time.
Trey Brightis now stepping in for the Penguins. He was also a strikeout victim his first plate appearance.
Brightis had that sensational diving catch this last half of the inning.
Dahlberg has only thrown 51 pitches so far, so very efficient work so far for the lefty. That pitch is upstairs, but a called strike. 1-1. Lefty kicks and delivers. Swung on, foul tipped. 1-2.
And again, it's batter after batter. Dahlberg has been able to work ahead through the first 3-4 pitches. He's been able to get to a 2-1 or 2-0-2 position rather, and really putting YSU's hitters in compromising positions.
1-2 on Brightis. 2 away here in the fifth. Swung on, hit foul down the third base line. As UIC in that first inning, they were set down in order. Then in the second, they came back with a 5 spot. The third inning, they were blanked with a 0. Fourth inning, put up on a 5 spot. Fifth inning, they were blanked. So the sixth inning, with the trend were to continue, you might be a betting man. You might think UIC could put up 5 more in the sixth. But here's the 1-2 upstairs to Brightis, evening the count at 2-2. Two and 2 on Brightis. Swung on, hit up the middle, and there goes the perfect game in the no-hitter. Trey Brightis has his first hit of the day and the first hit on the afternoon for YSU.
So Jake Dahlberg, that's Mike Yurstowski, Y-O-U-R-S-T-K-Y. Mike Yurstowski, everybody.
Jake, I'm terribly sorry to break up your no-no.
You're not really, though. Don't lie to the young man. You've already cost him a no-hitter, and now you say you're upset. We all know you're a Youngstown State Penguin yourself, currently enrolled at the university. So Jake Dahlberg still having a tremendous afternoon nonetheless, although giving up his first hit there to Trey Brightis.
Webb Charles steps in for the Penguins. Grounded, flew out to the second baseman, his first plate appearance. First pitch is downstairs, ball 1.
Charles has really been one of the more consistent hitters for this Penguin ball club. Despite not having a home run yet on the season, he's found a way to get on in one form or another.
1-0 swung on downstairs, strike 1.
Dahlberg really just been working the corners here. Exceptional command of both his curve and his fastball. His placement has been phenomenal through the first 5 innings of today's game.
Inside part of the plate called strike 2. A nice pitch by Dahlberg, hitting that inside part of the plate, and now ahead in the count 1-2. Brightis does have 2 stolen bases on the season. I think this might be an opportunity to be aggressive if you're YSU. Dahlberg kicks and delivers. Swung on, hit at the third baseman, just foul. We'll do it again at 1-2. The first time Dahlberg has to pitch out of the stretch so far in this game.
We'll see if maybe a bit of a mechanic change here gives Dahlberg any trouble.
1-2 on the second baseman, Webb Charles. Flew out to second his first plate appearance. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit the shortstop. Charging it is Bohannick. He'll flip to second and retire the out. So the Penguins get their first hit on the afternoon, but Still a 0 in the runs category. We'll move to the 6th inning. UIC up 10-0.
You're here to be part of something bigger, to make things happen. For you, college is about knowledge being shared and learning experiences that aren't limited to the classroom. On campus, you want to matter. It's about engaging every day, building relationships with students, with mentors, with the community, in the heart of a reinvented city. We are that something bigger. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
The Penguin Club supports your Youngstown State student athletes.
Thanks to the Penguin Club, our student athletes are given the chance to win a championship and, more importantly, earn a degree.
Join the Penguin Club to support YSU and benefit from priority season tickets, game day parking, and access to hospitality suites.
Be a part of the team behind the teams.
Join the Penguin Club and make a difference.
Call 330-9411-YSU or go to ysusports.com for more information.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Calabrese, Oda, and Ramirez due up for the Flames here in the 6th inning.
And really the power of this UIC lineup on display, starting with Calabrese.
Still on the pitch for YSU is Dion Felger. Working in his 4th inning of relief. He's done an okay job. Really, that 4th inning was only his rough spot as he gave up 5 in the 4th. Really, the downfall of YSU pitching so far has been the walks they have given up to UIC, which has really led to a lot of runs for the Flames.
We know this UIC lineup is best in the Horizon League at drawing walks and getting on base, so not shocking there that they've been able to stay patient at the dish and really force this YSU pitching staff to work in game number 1 of this doubleheader.
Calabrese had a RBI fly out his last plate appearance. Drove one to center field, which scored a run.
Again, Calabrese really starting off what is a core of power here in this UIC lineup.
Pitch downstairs, ball 2, 2-1. Felger, 3 in the 3rd inning so far, 5 earned runs, 1 strikeout, 3 walks. He's thrown 68 pitches.
And when you look at Calabrese, the number that jumps out at you is 12, and that's the number of home runs he's hit, and currently leads this UIC lineup in home runs this season.
So that ball's roped down the left field line, foul. Even in the count at 2-2.
I know if you're Mike D, that's what you love seeing right there. It works out that your cleanup hitter is your leader in home runs, so Calabrese is definitely the most powerful bat for the UIC Flames this season.
2-2 on the catcher. Here's the pitch. Downstairs, bounce it in there and making the count full.
Really just nothing's been easy today for YSU. Even the success they have had, whether it's been pitching or hitting, it's come at a price that they've really had to work for. And you see here a number of 3-2 counts for this YSU pitching staff, and really a testament to the patience of these Flames hitters.
3-2 to Calabrese. Felger looks in, gets the sign. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on, hit at the third baseman, charging hard. Throwing over to first, making the out, and Padovan retires the first Flame in the 6th inning. Nice play by Padovan over at the hot corner, charging it hard and taking the ball off the bounce, throwing over to Kendrick for out number 1. Scott Oda now up for UIC. His last plate appearance, he had a 2 RBI single. Also came around to score a run later in the inning.
The Junipero Sarah grad out of Foster City, California. One of the most promising young players in this UIC ball club.
His first pitch swinging, hit down the right field line, foul.
Of course, a member of the all-freshman team and doing his best to make an all-conference team here in 2017. He's hitting just .001 better than last season.
1-1 on the right fielder. One away here in the sixth. Felger took something off him. A nice curveball caused strike two. Felger's 1 for 2 on the day, 2 RBIs.
Oda actually, prior to give us his triple back in the third inning, was the only UIC Flame with a triple this season.
Swung on and missed and strike out victim number 1 here in the sixth inning for Felger. And that's his second strikeout on the afternoon as Oda goes down swinging. That'll bring up now Ramirez, Ricardo Ramirez, the first baseman for the Flames. 0 for 2 on the day. Flew out to the first baseman his last plate appearance.
And Ramirez is really one of the first names that maybe outside of Dahlberg you think of when you talk about this UIC ball club. You look at his list of accolades and honors, an All-Horizon League first teamer. We talked about ranking in the top 2 or 3 really in several major offensive categories within the conference.
Here's the pitch. Downstairs called strike one. Nice pitch by Felger to come back after bouncing a curveball into the dirt. Coming hit his spot on the outside part of the plate.
Calabrese actually leads this UIC team with 33 RBIs this season.
This ball's driven into center field. Brightest first step back, but charges in hard, makes the catch. And 3 up, 3 down for the second inning in a row for UIC. YSU coming to back, trailing by 10 here in the sixth inning.
You're here to be part of something bigger, to make things happen. For you, college is about knowledge being shared and learning experiences that aren't limited to the classroom. On campus, you want to matter. It's about engaging every day, building relationships with students, with mentors, with the community, in the heart of a reinvented city. We are that something bigger. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
The Penguin Club supports your Youngstown State student athletes.
Thanks to the Penguin Club, our student athletes are given the chance to win a championship and, more importantly, earn a degree.
Join the Penguin Club to support YSU and benefit from priority season tickets, game day parking, and access to hospitality suites.
Be a part of the team behind the teams.
Join the Penguin Club and make a difference.
Call 330-9411-YSU or go to ysusports.com for more information.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
Santoro, Benyo, and Rowan do up for YSU here in the home half of the sixth inning. As Jake Dahlberg works into the sixth inning, he's thrown 5 innings pitched, no earned runs, 4 strikeouts, has not walked the batter yet. And he's thrown 65 pitches, so very efficient 5 innings so far for the lefty for UIC.
Really, Santoro struggled a bit this season, batting just .217.
Struck out his first plate appearance. First pitch downstairs, ball 1.
It'll be important if you're Santoro here. Stay within yourself, stay patient, and most importantly, make Dahlberg work here. Don't allow him to get that early command that we've seen him do batter after batter this afternoon.
1-0 is foul tipped, evening the count at 1-1. Here's the pitch, downstairs, ball 2. 3 pitches in this inning have all been downstairs from Dahlberg, making it his mission to throw it downstairs and have YSU hitters chase something. There's the 2-1. Swung on, hit the shortstop. That'll be Bohannick. He'll throw over to first, and he'll retire Santoro here in the 6th. That'll now bring up Kyle Banyo as he flew out to left field his first plate appearance. He's the designated hitter. .252 average on the season, 7 home runs, 20 RBIs.
Banyo, despite really being the anchor down there at the tail end of this Penguin batters list, is somebody that can give that ball a ride, and 7 home runs this season are evidence of that.
This one lifted, foul. Looks this one will get out of play. Go right off the cement concourse here at Eastwood Field. Making the count now 0-2 on Banyo.
And really, it's been the movement of Banyo's pitches in addition with his placement that have forced batter after batter that has even been able to get contact, has really just popped up the ball harmlessly, either foul or into fair territory.
0-2 outside, ball 1.
If you're Mike D and Jake Dahlberg, you really got to be pleased with your approach and your game plan and the ability to Dahlberg to execute, as he has been painting the in and outside corners all afternoon long. Really just a sensational bit of pitching here from one of the best pitchers in the conference and really in UIC history.
That pitch was inside, even the count at 2-2 on Banyo. Flew out to left his first plate appearance. Here's the 2-2. Swung on, foul tipped, and Banyo will stay alive.
Great job there by Banyo to foul that one off, give himself a chance to live another day.
Dahlberg's been as good as advertised so far through this game. Coming into this game, a 2.29 ERA, 6-1 record. He's in line for his 7th win of the season. Two and 2 on the designated hitter for YSU. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, and Dahlberg took something off of it and sat down Banyo. A nice pitch there by Dahlberg, 2 away here in the 6th.
What a gem there by Jake Dahlberg. We just talked about his ability to work that inside and outside corner, and right there that curveball just falls off the table, and Kyle Banyo appeared to be gearing up there for fastball inside and really just way out in front.
5th strikeout on the afternoon for Dahlberg. That'll lead to the top of the order in YSU for Anthony Rowan. He grounded out to short his first plate appearance and flew out to right in his second, so 0-2 on the day. This one swung on, foul tipped, right at the UIC dugout.
And I got to imagine head coach Dan Berlini's been preaching to his team maybe a little bit more simple of a hitting approach. Is really from that 4th inning on, we've seen much more aggressive Penguin batters and really trying to attack Dahlberg early on in that count and not allow him to work out to that lead that we've really seen him do affectionately pretty much every batter that he's faced today.
2-1 on the leadoff hitter for YSU. There's the pitch driven into the gap, and that's going to get down for a 2-out single for Anthony Rowan. The second hit of the afternoon for the Penguins.
Great job there by Rowan. Following through, coming through the zone, and just solid swing, solid contact, and gets a trip to first base.
Lorenzo Arcuri now up for the Penguins. He also flew out to right field his last plate appearance. 0-2 on the day, so we'll see if Anthony Rowan will be off and running, as he's attempted to steal 7 times, and he's stolen 7 bases, so still has yet to been caught on the base pass is Rowan. Gets a medium-sized lead at first. First pitch to Akuri's in there for a strike. Got to think if you're YSU to send him and try to create a spark, maybe a hit-and-run option. Not much to lose here in the 6th inning, trailing by 10. Gets his lead at first. Nothing doing. Pitches in there for another strike on the upstairs part of the strike zone, and now Akuri finds himself down in the count 0-2. To the right fielder for YSU. Dahlberg trying to get out of this. Here's the pitch. Swung on, lifted, skyrocketed into right field. Underneath that one is Oda. He'll make the catch, and that'll retire the side here in the 6th for YSU. Move to the 7th inning where it'll be Ogata, Gibbous, and McDonald due up for UIC.
You're here to be part of something bigger, to make things happen. For you, college is about knowledge being shared and learning experiences that aren't limited to the classroom. On campus, you want to matter. It's about engaging every day, building relationships with students, with mentors, with the community, in the heart of a reinvented city. We are that something bigger. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
The Penguin Club supports your Youngstown State student athletes.
Thanks to the Penguin Club, our student athletes are given the chance to win a championship and, more importantly, earn a degree.
Join the Penguin Club to support YSU and benefit from priority season tickets, game day parking, and access to hospitality suites.
Be a part of the team behind the teams.
Join the Penguin Club and make a difference.
Call 330-9411-YSU or go to ysusports.com for more information.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Tanner Montgomery has been inserted into the lineup for YSU. He'll be behind the plate. Montgomery, a freshman catcher for the Penguins. On the mound will still be Dion Felger for YSU.
And Montgomery, actually the son of YSU football offensive coordinator Shane Montgomery. The Penguins made a visit this past season to the FCS National Championship game.
Second pitch swung on, lifted in the air. Montgomery could have a play behind the dish, and that ball will just get out of play. This went into the first row of seats here at Eastwood.
The nachos are okay, folks. Don't worry. It was a little touch and go there for a second. That one Penguin fan might lose his nachos, but thankfully that one did not pose any danger.
That is Coach Montgomery right there. As this looks over in place, screaming to his son, "Why didn't you catch that one?" Offensive corner for the football team, as you explained, John.
Avid baseball fan.
This pitch swung on to the shortstop. Willoughby will make the catch. And retired is Ogata. It's a nice pitch there by Felger. He took something off of it and had Ogata out in front of it and just popped it up to the shortstop.
Get a good look here at Brendan Gibbous. We talked about, ironically, the best UIC hit of the day was Gibbous' triple, and it was a harmless one at that. He started the inning off with a bang and then ended up 3 batters later still standing on third base.
First pitch to Gibbous in there for a strike. This pitch lifted out of play, 0-2.
Hats off to Felger. You look at the landscape of the ballgame when he was inserted in there, and DiVincenzo had been all over the place, really, and momentum clearly in UIC's favor. He stayed within himself and was really settled in quite nicely here after that 5-run inning that we saw earlier in this ball game.
Here's the 0-2, swung on, just a nice piece of hitting there by Brandon Gibbous as he took that 0-2 pitch and took it right where it came back, right into right field. And now Gibbous is at his third hit in a row. He's now 3 for 3 on the day with 3 RBIs.
Yeah, Gibbous right there, just a beautiful job of staying within yourself, keeping things simple. 0-2 pitch, outer part of the plate. You take it right back where it came from and really just stay within yourself, and you're on first base.
Mickey McDonald up for UIC 0 for 3 with an RBI this afternoon.
And really, the more and more, Mike, I look at this UIC lineup.
This pitch swung on into the gap. That's going to get down. Ricocheting off the right fielder of Curie, and that'll advance Ogata into third. So a single for Mickey McDonald, and Gibbous will reach to third on the misplay by Curie.
Yeah, and I was just getting ready to say, actually, it's quite an asset for Mike D in this UIC ball club that you have somebody like Mickey McDonald, who's really one of the better players in this lineup and is still on the mend, coming back in his first season following that gruesome injury. So it's really quite an asset that you have a guy that definitely isn't a 9-hitter in that 9 spot.
Thomas Norton now up for UIC. Struck out his last plate appearance, 1 for 3 on the afternoon. Felger first and third, 1 out. First pitch upstairs, ball 1. Felger's gone 4 2/3. He's given up 5 runs. He struck out 2 and walked 3. Approaching 90 pitches on the afternoon.
If you're Felger here, really you just want to keep the ball low. You don't want to allow them to get another sacrifice fly or give this any kind of shot.
Out of play. Even in the count of 1-1.
Felger's really been trying to mirror the same plan that we've seen Dahlberg execute perfectly in this ball game, trying to work those corners, keep the ball low and out of the wheelhouse of many of these UIC hitters.
Here's the 1-1 downstairs, ball 2, nice block by Montgomery behind the plate.
Yeah, Norton had himself quite the day as well. He's been active, really setting the tone for this UIC team.
In there for a strike on the outside part of the play. Nice pitch by Felger. Even in the count at 2-2.
Norton, one of actually, excuse me, 9 Flame batters that have a hit on today, so encouraging this UIC offense. Actually leads the league in hits as well.
This pitch is swung on, lifted, foul territory. Andrew Kendrick will reach under it and make the catch. So nothing, no damage done there on that out. As now we'll have first and third for UIC with 2 outs, though, as Norton flies out to Kendrick.
Appeared Norton really just dropped his elbow right there and got under that one instead of staying on top of it and driving it out there into right field. Good news for Felger.
David Cronin up for UIC, 1 for 3 on the afternoon, 1 RBI. Flew out to left his last plate appearance. Felger trying to not give up a run here in the 7th. Here's the pitch. Curveball in there for a strike. Took something off of it big time and had Cronin fooled.
And Mike, you take away that 4th inning for Felger, he's really had a pretty solid ball game. He hasn't allowed a run in 3 innings now, and it's definitely been an up and down day for this Penguin ball club. And like we said, a lot of times with these teams, you don't really need to give them a tremendous amount of help. They're 2nd or 1st ranked in the conference for a reason, and if you take away those 2 innings, really that 2nd and 4th inning, YSU could be right in this ball game. But what you give up 5 runs in both those instances, you're not going to have a whole lot of a chance to climb out of this hole against one of the best teams in the conference.
That pitch scooted by Montgomery, but not far enough for Gibbous to come home. But McDonald did advance, so 2nd and 3rd now, here with 2 outs in the 7th. This pitch swung on past Kendrick. That's going to score 1. Rounding 3rd coming home is McDonald. They won't have a play at the plate, and that's a 2-out 2 RBI single for Cronin, and UIC now up by a dozen.
Cronin has really just made a career of this, coming up in big moments and being one of the big producers for this offense. And as we see Coach Dan Bernalini take a stroll out there to the mound, and appears we might have a pitching change here as Felger came in and really had his back up against the wall at the start, but battled tremendously and settled in quite nicely over the last 3 innings.
So that'll close the book on Dion Felger for the afternoon. He'll finish with 5 innings pitched, 7 earned runs, 2 strikeouts, and 3 walks. He threw 95 pitches. Coming on for YSU, though, once we get the number for you. Makes a trot out to meet his head coach on the mound is Darian Bertolini. And it'll be number 22, Tanner Montgomery. Excuse me, 2-6 for YSU. Montgomery's behind the plate. That'd be pretty miraculous.
That'd be
if
impressive.
He can catch and pitch at the same time.
Be a proud
Our
father.
statistician guy gave me the wrong number, so we'll blame that on Kevin Davis. But it'll be Ryan Smith to pitch, the senior right-handed pitcher out of the bullpen for YSU. We got another Trevor Parks call to the bullpen, the second of the afternoon for YSU.
You know, Mike, a bad carpenter blames his tools, and right there, maybe you should add a little more accountability and check the number a little more before you blurted out
It's my eyes.
a name of somebody that was clearly already in the ball game.
It's my eyes, John. It's my eyes.
Maybe you should get those checked. Sounds like a you problem, Mike.
Ryan Smith on for YSU, 0-1 on the season, 9.72 ERAs. Only pitched 8 1/3 inning. In those 8 1/3, he's given up 14 hits, 9 earned runs. He's walked 12, but only struck out 6. So
Thought we talked about your vision earlier this year, Mike, at the Horizon League Track and Field Championship.
it hasn't gotten better, can tell.
Clearly haven't made that doctor's visit yet.
Been a little busy. Maybe once the semester ends and summer's here.
It's funny, the college sports season never stops. You roll right from football into basketball, and now we're in baseball season. And be over before we know it, and we'll be getting ready for football season once more. So really the job of covering a college sports program is really a 365-a-day job, and seasons overlap, and right now we're enjoying the break of winter and heading into spring here. Conference tournament play time coming up, and I know the UIC Flames are eager to get back into the tournament, especially that young man standing on first base, David Cornyn.
Ryan Smith comes into this game with the second highest batting average against on this Penguins pitching staff. DiVincenzo was first, while hitters were hitting .416 against him, and Smith behind him at .389. So it'll be Cody Bohannick to face Smith here in the 7th. First pitch is way outside, and the ball will get to the backstop, and down to second will go Cronin.
Inauspicious start there for Ryan Smith. Appeared in just 11 games last season out of the bullpen.
One 1-0 on Bohannick. 12-0 UIC leads. Pitches in there for a strike. A nice pitch to come back for Smith. That first one was a little bit outside, and
Just a bit.
second one threw a dart in there for a strike. Bohannick 1 for 3 with an RBI on the afternoon. One of 12 runs driven in for UIC. Pitch is downstairs. Montgomery couldn't get to it, and advancing to third will be Cronin. As Smith has just kind of been all over the place here in the first 3 pitches, not really giving his catcher an opportunity to block those. He crossed them up as Montgomery was set up inside and the pitch was outside.
Yeah, making the freshman Tanner Montgomery earn his stripes here in the early going. And if you're Ryan Smith, he's struggling much of the same way we saw DiVincenzo and Felger struggle. That's really been their placement, has been their biggest thing. He's just struggled finding the strike zone.
And that pitch hits Bohannick, and he'll take that one off the back, and now that'll be the first free pass given by Smith.
Smith appears to just be all over the place right now, and you know, you have 3 out of 4 pitches completely missed the strike zone, one of which connects with the batter. It's definitely an auspicious start here if you're Ryan Smith, but the Hubbard grad, another hometown player on this team, look to refocus here, and you have a tall order doing against one of the most potent bats in this entire UIC lineup.
Rob Calabrese up for UIC, 1 for 2 on the afternoon. He also has an RBI. With that RBI now, he ties Bohannic with the team lead, 32 ribbies. And that pitch almost hit him, and it did. And it did hit Calabrese, as Ryan Smith just cannot find the strike zone right now as he's hit the past 2 batters on the past 2 pitches.
Well, we continue to see some activity out there in the YSU bullpen as you're seeing some pitchers start to get loose here based off of the start with Smith. As he's just struggled to find the plate. And, you know, you hit the first 2 batters you face. That's obviously not the start anybody's looking for. And we talked about sometimes in baseball, Mike, how you can sort of have that chain reaction on things where when it rains, it pours in a sense. And we saw that earlier with YSU pitchers struggling to find the zone, and it appears it's after Felger settling in, Smith might be falling prey to the same issues here in the bottom half, or top half of the 7th, rather.
We'll have a pinch hitter here as Riley Herbert will make his first plate appearance. The freshman outfielder from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, will step to the plate. His bases are loaded here with 2 outs here in the 7th. This pitch swung on, and that's going to get through. Scoring 1 and scoring 2 for Hebert, and that will be a 2-out, 2 RBI single for the freshman from Louisiana, and now UIC up 2 touchdowns, 14-0.
Again, probably the most concerning aspect has just been Penguins haven't really looked sharp in any phase of the game today. Fielding's been all over the place, and it's followed suit with pitching as well. So really the Penguin defense just struggling here in this first game. And if you're them, it's really now looking ahead to game number 2 and trying to establish some kind of rhythm, momentum that you can use to forget this one and move on and maybe walk out of this day 1-1.
First pitch to Ramirez is fouled back. If Ramirez were to reach now, UIC would go through their lineup for the 3rd time this game. Quite a remarkable stat right there. Not often do you see a team bat through the order in an inning, but UIC, if Ramirez were to reach, this would be the 3rd time they do it this game. And that pitch in there for a ball. That ball went off of Montgomery's glove, couldn't corral, and moving to 3rd was Calabrese.
Yeah, I mean, this UIC team sits first in on-base percentage, run batted in, hits, runs scored, batting average, and sits second in a handful of other categories. This is not a team that you can afford to bring anything other than your A game against.
That pitch swung on and caught by Montgomery. Now 1-2. YSU desperately trying to get out of this inning here as UIC has already put 4 up on the board. They have 14 runs on 12 hits. Compared to YSU's 0 runs on 2 hits. Here's the pitch. Not even close with the curveball, and coming home and scoring is Calabrese.
I think if you're Dan Bertolini here, you might be questioning that call to the bullpen as you appear. Felger had really settled in and hadn't allowed a run there in 3rd innings, and you bring in Ryan Smith, who has really just struggled to find the plate at all in this one.
Almost if you're YSU, just kind of got to go back to the fastball. Throw nothing but fastballs. Ryan Smith has shown he really doesn't have anything on his off-speed pitches.
And you just saw Dan Bertolini there sort of give the hurry-up sign to the bullpen, as in, you better hurry up and get ready because we are going to make a change here soon. And evident by Smith has just not looked comfortable since inserted into the game and unable to establish any kind of rhythm here.
2-2 on Ramirez here in the 7th, 15-0. 3 innings have been the downfall for YSU. In the 2nd, 4th, and 7th, UIC's all put up 5. Here's the pitch. Downstairs past Montgomery's glove again, and moving to 3rd is Hebert.
Again, if you're Ryan Smith here, understand that your workload might be over after this inning, so you really just got to try and focus here, get the batter, throw strikes, maybe allow them to hit the ball, put it in play, and let your defense take care of the rest.
3-2. Downstairs, ball 4, and Ramirez will walk, and UIC will bat through their lineup here in the 7th.
And Dan Bernalini, it appears he's seen enough. He is heading out to the mound here, and I think we're going to see another pitching change for the Penguins.
That'll be exactly that, as we'll have another Trevor Parks call to the bullpen, as head coach Dan Bernalini will trot out to the mound and take the ball from Ryan Smith, who just really did not have it. He'll go registering no innings pitched, didn't record an out, 2 earned runs, walked 2. Really walked 3, hit 2 batters, and he threw 13 pitches.
Yeah, if you're Ryan Smith, obviously not the outing you want, but the great news about baseball is you're going to get another shot tomorrow, and we know the Penguins have quite a few games this weekend, so get another shot at it. Definitely want to make the most of it when your opportunity comes, and interested to see what the Penguins do now, considering you have another game coming your way and what your options are in terms of pitching. Definitely been a concern for the Penguins today, as it appears nobody has really been able to find their zone or get into any kind of a rhythm in this one. I believe it's going to be Evan Chang here.
So
for the
YSU
Penguins.
will have a position player pitching for the Penguins now, as Evan Chang, the freshman infielder, will make his appearance on the hill. As we don't have any stats on Evan Chang so far because he's never made a pitching appearance. So you know it hasn't been a good game when you have to dig into your position players now pitching for. Saw it a couple games ago with the Indians, as Michael Martinez made an appearance for the Indians a couple games ago. So YSU's not the first team that has done this.
And, you know, when you look at Chang's resume, 4-year letter winner in high school and a captain over there at Taylor Aladaric High School, really one thing that pops out is as a fielder, he committed just 1 error in his senior season, but also pitched a handful of games. Multi-sport athlete as well, playing soccer, so definitely someone that is more than capable of filling multiple roles on this team. And like you said, Mike, sometimes when you find yourselves in these ball games where it's clearly going one way, it's often best not to waste your pitching staff, especially when you know you have a weekend full of games. So maybe if you're head coach Dan Bertolini, you sort of look around and say, hey, who can throw strikes right now? Because I really think that's what the Penguins are looking for more than anything else. And maybe it's Evan Chang, the redshirt freshman, who I'm sure hasn't pitched since his days in high school and maybe even before that. But
Bowen Ogata will bat for UIC. How about this, John? He actually led off this inning, lined out to the shortstop. And now he's up again. Evan Chang on for YSU to pitch. First pitch is downstairs, ball 1.
And if you're Chang, I'm sure this is what Bertolini and Merrigan are stressing to him. Just throw strikes.
Heavy dose of fastballs. 4 strikes. Here's the 1-0. Swung on. This one's belted into left field. This is going to be trouble. It's going to get down. Scoring 1. Rounding and hitting the third is Ramirez, but Ogata will come in to score, and Oda will come in to score, and Ogata's got a 2-out RBI single.
I think you can expect to see quite a few changes over the next few innings, as I expect a lot of freshmen to be getting some action here. You see Matt Blosher coming to the plate and pinch hitting for the Flames. And when you're in these kind of ball games, whether you're up or you're down, it's a good time to get the freshmen some work and see what you might have under the hood in years to come. And I think that's what we're seeing right now from Mike D. and Dan Bertolini.
Matt Botcher, a freshman out of Romaville, Illinois. 5'10", 160. Pitch is outside. Ball 1, 1-1. 16-0 now. UIC leads. 16 runs on 13 hits, no errors. YSU 0 runs, 2 hits, 1 error. Tale of 2 different teams here in game number 1. That pitch inside, ball 2. Almost have to ask yourself, John, when does the umpire kind of expand that strike zone? That pitch looked to be over enough to give it a strike with a 16-0 game. This pitch swung on, lifted right back up the middle, and that's going to score one. And Botcher will have a single.
You know, despite Evan Chang giving up 2 hits here to start and allowing 2 runs to score, he's done something that no YSU pitcher has really been able to do today at all, and that's throw strikes. And I'm sure that's what the coaching staff told him, is to come in, throw strikes, and let's see what the defense can do behind you. And then, you know, if that's YSU, a little bit of a concern, as we know they have the lowest fielding percentage in the Horizon League.
Josh Gear now will pinch hit, the sophomore outfielder, 5'10", 180 from Kingwood, Texas. Evan Chang trying to work out of the 7th inning here. First pitch in there, cold strike.
And Gear, as someone appeared in just 32 games last season, batted pedestrian 171, but did make 21 starts in center field. Another 2-sport athlete back at Kingwood, Texas High School.
That pitch is in the dirt, 1-1.
And this UIC team composed mostly of Illinois products. Gear here, one of the few Texas products on the team.
Two one upstairs, 3-1.
Again, if you're Chang, you're really just looking to throw strikes here and hopefully allow your defense to make some plays.
Here's the 3-1. Upstairs, ball 4, and the bases are loaded.
Quite a few times now today, Mike, we have seen Penguins really shoot themselves in the foot here, and this inning has been perhaps most apparent of any of those cases.
That it has, John. 7 runs in the 7th for UIC to this point. And Evan Chang has still not registered an out. That'll bring up Thomas Norton, 1 for 4 with a strikeout this afternoon. Bases loaded. First pitch downstairs, ball 1.
What's remarkable is, Mike, when you look at the history of this UIC program, finishing first or second in 14 of the past 16 seasons.
Swung on, fouled on the left field line, and evened it up at 1-1.
It appears we're going to be seeing a similar narrative here in 2017 under head coach Mike D.
One and one, and that hit him. That hit Norton, and he will get an RBI the hard way.
Again, right there, that's got to sting. It appears it hit him right on either the wrist or the hand. And a little bit easier getting hit in the small of the back. Sometimes when you get hit in the hand, those are the most concerning ones. Really can prove to be the most trouble. So if you're Evan Chang here, again, this is, for those of you just joining us, not Chang's preferred position or what he's on this Penguin roster for.
David Cronin.
Cronin again, somebody that's had a lot of success in his UIC career and it's held true against the Penguins today. Doing battle right now with Evan Chang, the redshirt freshman. Deflating performance here for the YSU Penguins, but great news. You get another shot at 3:30 p.m. So it's a great news about baseball. Perhaps at times it's one of the most humbling sports where one day you can be on top of the mountain and the next you can really be experiencing the lowest of the lows. And for the Penguins, they'll have a chance to get it right here in game number 2.
So that pitch is upstairs, 2-2. Cronin 2 for 4, 3 RBIs on the afternoon. Evan Chang doing anything he can to try to get out of the 7th inning.
And again, Chang, you really don't have too much under the hood in terms of options in your pitch repertoire. I'm going to be honest, it's probably a fastball with another fastball and then maybe a third fastball. That's really what you're working with.
I think
with
what
Evan
you're saying,
Chang
John, is you should probably just throw fastballs.
It's pretty much. It's a very astute observation of you, Michael.
Thank you. 3-2. Here's the pitch. Upstairs, ball 4, and another run has walked home.
Bohannick will trot back up to the plate. Been an exceptional afternoon for him.
Bohannick 1 for 3 with an RBI. This is his 6th plate appearance in this game. So that pitch almost hit him on the inside. Bohannick up to the plate for the 6th time in game number 1 in the 7th inning.
Very discouraging here. If you're YSU, you had Felger in there, and 3 scoreless innings appeared to finally be in a groove. And
this pitch is roped into left field. That's going to get down, scoring 1. And UIC's third base coach is going to hold it up as now 20-0.
Again, if you're Evan Chang here, it's frustrating and definitely not what you wanted, but you didn't exactly come to the ballpark today expecting to take the mound. So if you're him, you're really just throwing strikes, allowing those hitters to make contact, and hoping that one of your defensemen can make a play.
Rob Calabrese up for UIC, 1 for 2. With an RBI this afternoon. This pitch is belted into the air, and that's going to get out of play.
Keep waiting for one to make its way up here, Mike. I'm itching to flex this fielding prowess that I possess.
Here's the 0-1, swung on. That's going to be a fair ball down the right field line, ricocheting off the fence and scoring 2 is a 2-out two RBI single for Calabrese, and it is now 22-0.
Again, Mike, sometimes when it rains, it pours, and we've seen that sort of domino effect happen here today as multiple innings where it's just unraveled here pretty quickly for YSU. As I believe head coach, check that, I believe that's Coach Merrigan trotting out there for the Penguins. And giving some words here to Evan Chang. We see once again some activity in the Penguin bullpen. Beautiful day here for baseball out at Eastwood Field, home of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. And Mike, I want to ask you, if you're Josh Merrigan right here, the pitching coach for YSU, what's your message to young Evan Chang?
Throw strikes. Just put the ball in play, let your defense make a play. I mean, this is now the 18th batter that has come to the plate here in the 7th inning for UIC.
That's a lot of batters, Mike.
I mean, there's not much more you can say as a coach other than just let's get out of this. Let's throw a strike. Let's let them put it in play. Let's let our defense make a play, and let's get out of here.
To quote the great Yogi Berra, though, it's UIC has really just been hitting them where they ain't and getting balls into the gap. And
well, I mean, it's come to a tough part if you're UIC because obviously you see the scoring, and it's when do you send a runner, when do you not send a runner, pass balls, what do you do? I mean, that's come to a tough part, and I think UIC actually has done a pretty good job. There's been a couple times where balls have been hit into the outfield where more than one run could score, and it has. But like on that last one there, you get a single down the left field line. It ricochets off the wall. So obviously you got to send another runner there. But Evan Chang's ahead in the count here, 1-2, doing anything to try to get out of this 7th inning.
You might ask young Evan Chang here, do you remember how to throw that curveball and possibly dust it off here with the working ahead in the count?
Here's the pitch, swung on, foul tipped. Back behind us, almost to our vantage point here, just a little bit to the left. We'll do it again at 1-2. Here's the pitch, upstairs. And you just kind of almost have to ask the umpire, can you please call that a strike?
Well, you can ask Michael. I'm not sure he's going to consider expanding the zone at all today. He clearly hasn't for Evan Chang, and he's remained consistent behind the dish.
That pitch is upstairs, 3-2. Riley Abear up for UIC's 1-for-1 for 2 RBIs on the day. This pitch is lifted into the air, out of play. Almost gave a mother there with a stroller and an infant quite the scare. I like that was a good effort by him. Not sure if that was a random fan, but he went over to protect her, which was nice to see.
Protect our own here.
That's his good deed of the day right there. He was sacrificing his body to not let that mother and potentially child get hit. Swung on and missed, and YSU's out of the inning. A nice pitch there by Evan Chang, and UIC's finally retired. It's stretch time here at Eastwood Field with the Flames up 22-0.
You're here to be part of something bigger, to make things happen. For you, college is about knowledge being shared and learning experiences that aren't limited to the classroom. On campus, you want to matter. It's about engaging every day, building relationships with students, with mentors, with the community, in the heart of a reinvented city. We are that something bigger. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
The Penguin Club supports your Youngstown State student athletes.
Thanks to the Penguin Club, our student athletes are given the chance to win a championship and, more importantly, earn a degree.
Join the Penguin Club to support YSU and benefit from priority season tickets, game day parking, and access to hospitality suites.
Be a part of the team behind the teams.
Join the Penguin Club and make a difference.
Call 330-9411-YSU or go to ysusports.com for more information.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Willoughby, Kendrick, and Padavon up for YSU here in the home half of the 7th.
We talked about it, Mike, with the score appearing to really be at an insurmountable point. It's really just about building momentum for that next game. You know, you have another one coming up here.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of put that in your back pocket if you're YSU. Maybe all the hits and runs UIC can score in one day. They're getting out in this game number 1, so it'll give you a better chance in game 2.
Exactly, and you can really just look to build momentum for the rest of the day and what we know is a 8-game homestand here for the Penguins.
2 today against UIC, 2 tomorrow against Milwaukee. They'll play at noon and 3:30 tomorrow. Shane Willoughby digs in for YSU. First pitch, swinging, drills that into left field. That's going to be trouble. It's going to get down to the wall. Willoughby will hit first. He'll head into second for a leadoff double for the Penguins. And Shane Willoughby collects his first hit on the afternoon.
Obviously, the way you want to get started here, if you're YSU, with a bang, and if you're Willoughby, you're getting your team on the board and really starting them off in a way that nobody has been able to today for this ball club. So a tremendous job there and a great bit of hitting to bring up now what is possibly the best hitter in the entire conference in Andrew Kendrick.
Andrew Kendrick, feels like forever since he's been up. He flew out to the second baseman his last plate appearance. I'm feeling a home run here, John.
I'm sure Andrew Kendrick would like to see that as well. And he's done his best to try and follow through.
His first plate appearance, hit one to about the 404 mark, and the wall's 405, so.
Leaves just one more foot.
2 more, actually, from getting out of here, but yeah, it was close, no doubt. First pitch, second pitch swung on into left field, and just going to miss it. So that will be retired by the left fielder, Brendan Gibbous, and Kendrick's retired.
If you're Kendrick, really doing everything he can, trying to cut into this lead any way possible, and each time up he's really taking a cut, trying to give that ball a ride. There's nothing doing here.
Nico Padovan up for YSU. He's 0 for 2 with the strikeout. Jake Dahlberg still on the mound for UIC. 6 1/3 innings. No earned runs, given up 3 hits, 5 strikeouts, no walks, thrown 86 pitches. First pitch swinging. Strike 1 on Padovan as Dahlberg took something off of it. Downstairs, ball 1. Nice block by the catcher, Calabrese, for UIC. Pitch is in there, strike 2. 1-2 on Padovan.
And Padovan, really besides Kendrick, has been probably the most productive player for the Penguins this season. He sits second in a host of categories, including on-base percentage, hits, and batting average.
Pitch called, strike 3, and downstairs a nice pitch by Dahlberg. That'll be his 6th strikeout of the afternoon. The first one looking. That'll now bring up number 2, the center fielder, Trey Brightus. Brightus broke up the no-no. Got in a single back in the 5th inning.
Arguably had the best day of any Penguin hitter. That's not saying much when your ball club's down 22-0. But
he's been busy in center field as well as made. We've seen him make some couple terrific plays out there in center. And time is called at the plate. Brightus will step out and get some more practice swings in. First pitch downstairs, ball 1.
And if you're Brightus here, it's really just trying to get yourself established in a rhythm for game number 2, which we know will be 30 or so minutes after we finish up this one. And oh, I might have had it there.
Came in the booth. How about that? Almost took out Kevin Davis.
How about that one, folks? I wish you could see here the broadcasting booth setup that we have.
Wow.
We actually have quite a large window for the ball to come in that we actually have had
Wow.
shut So that window right there for that ball to come in was,
Kevin Davis, his life just flashed before his eyes.
thankfully, and more importantly than the life of Kevin Davis,
Wow.
all the equipment is okay.
Where were you for that, though? I thought you had cat-like reflexes to go over there and save him.
I was the only one that stood up right there. Didn't you see that?
Yeah, but you jumped out of the way. You stood up and jumped out of the way.
I was getting ready to make a play, actually. I just didn't get a good
Jeez.
look at the ball.
Trey Brightus almost takes out our director and about every equipment that we have to put on a broadcast. So we have a souvenir up here in the broadcast booth.
That could have been a couple $1,000
Yeah, that'd have been an expensive
payment
foul
for Ron
ball.
Strollo. Probably the most expensive foul ball here at Eastwood Field.
Yeah, Ron Strollo. If we told him what happened, he would cringe. Brightus takes a walk, though. And now 2 aboard here in the 7th. As John, I think one of the players is looking for the baseball. Should probably give it to him. And Webb Charles now will bat for the Penguins, 0 for 2 on the afternoon.
Did you see that arm right there, Mike?
I saw that underhand toss about 10 feet. It was spot on.
I'm a phenomenal softball player.
Phenomenal. Webb Charles smokes one into the gap. That's going to get down, and a diving play. That's not going to get to the Penguins. Are going to get on the board. Webb Charles will hit second. Rounding third coming home is Brightus, and YSU is on the board, and it's now 22-2.
So if you're YSU and not all is lost, you get on the board here.
Webb Charles with a 2-out double, scoring 2 Penguins, and now YSU's on the board, and those are the first runs surrendered by Jake Dahlberg this afternoon. Tanner Montgomery now will step to the plate, the freshman catcher. This is his first plate appearance on the afternoon. First pitch upstairs, ball 1. Webb Charles only with the 4th hit on the afternoon for YSU, but it drove in 2. That pitch in there, strike 1 on Montgomery. Swung on, hit up at the shortstop. Charging hard is Bohannon. He'll fire over to first and retire Montgomery, but YSU's on the board with 2. Move to the 8th inning where UIC is up 22-2.
You're here to be part of something bigger, to make things happen. For you, college is about knowledge being shared and learning experiences that aren't limited to the classroom. On campus, you want to matter. It's about engaging every day, building relationships with students, with mentors, with the community, in the heart of a reinvented city. We are that something bigger. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
The Penguin Club supports your Youngstown State student athletes.
Thanks to the Penguin Club, our student athletes are given the chance to win a championship and, more importantly, earn a degree.
Join the Penguin Club to support YSU and benefit from priority season tickets, game day parking, and access to hospitality suites.
Be a part of the team behind the teams.
Join the Penguin Club and make a difference.
Call 330-9411-YSU or go to ysusports.com for more information.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Welcome back to Eastwood Field, where we're enjoying a game number 1 of this Friday doubleheader here in the Horizon League between the Youngstown State Penguins and the UIC Flames.
Javier Alvarez on the mound to pitch for YSU. 7.71 ERA coming into the game, 2-1 record. He's appeared in 13 games. He's started 2. Overall in the season, he's pitched 18 2/3 innings. He's given up 28 hits, 16 earned runs, struck out 15, walked 8. Hitters are hitting .333 against him. First pitch to Ricardo Ramirez is in there for a strike. So Alvarez trying to make it a 1-2-3 inning here in the 8th. Curveball outside, ball 1. Here's the 1-1, swung on, foul tip though, went off his hand. And that's going to be a foul ball. The hand is part of the bat. So 1-2 now on Ramirez.
Bit of a surprise here that Ramirez is still in this one. You think if you're Mike D, you might as well empty the stable, as it were, and get some of those freshmen an opportunity here to get some live in-game experience.
1-2, swung on, fouled back.
Nice pitch there by Alvarez, and good movement.
Swung on into right field. Charging it hard is Curie, not going to be able to get to it, and that's going to be a double for Ramirez.
Really, regardless of the pitcher, these UIC hitters have just done an exceptional job of seeing the ball and putting it in play, letting the rest take care of itself. They've really, regardless of who the pitchers has been, they've found a way to get on base or to get a hit, and it's really a testament to this ball club and their work this season.
Bono got up for UIC, 2 for 4 with 2 ribbies on the afternoon. As we said, folks, Game 2 is to follow. We will not have that broadcast for you, but you can follow on YSUsports.com. There is a link for the live stats feed that you can stay with up-to-date pitch-to-pitch game cast of game number 2 between the Flames and Penguins. Curveball in the dirt, 2-0.
Alvarez appears to be off to a better start than many of his counterparts were in today's game.
That pitch is in there for a strike.
For Alvarez, we talked about, he really just keep things simple here and try and establish some kind of rhythm for your ball club heading into game number 2.
Pitch swung on into center field. Brightis is running into the gap. He's not going to be able to get to it. Actually, Curie who gets to it. He can throw to second and have a double play if they hurry up, and that's exactly what they will do. What a play out in right field by Lorenzo Curie. And as ESPN would say, that's a web jam right there, John.
Showing the wheels there and then the presence of mind to fire it in, and Webb on there to relay the ball to second base, and you double up the Flames. What we talked about, Mike, building momentum.
Nice
Those are the
play.
kinds of developments you want to see here in the last few innings and a few chances to get the ship righted before game number 2.
That ball had me fooled. I thought it was going to be in the gap, and Brightis was running for it, and then out of nowhere, Curie comes sprinting on and makes a running catch. And obviously it fooled UIC too, as even their third base coach was waving Ramirez home as he thought that one was going to get down. But it didn't, and 2 outs here in the 8th inning for YSU. As this is Matt Botcher, he's 1 for 1 with a ribby. Here's the pitch, swung on, lifted down the left field line. That'll be foul.
Just missed the fun zone out there in left field, Mike. Could be argued that this whole ballpark is the fun zone, but
That pitch hit over to the second baseman, Charles. He'll throw over to first, center side is retired. As we move to the home half of the 8th inning, the Penguins coming to bat It'll be Benyo, Rohan, and Akuri.
You're here to be part of something bigger, to make things happen. For you, college is about knowledge being shared and learning experiences that aren't limited to the classroom. On campus, you want to matter. It's about engaging every day, building relationships with students, with mentors, with the community, in the heart of a reinvented city. We are that something bigger. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
The Penguin Club supports your Youngstown State student athletes.
Thanks to the Penguin Club, our student athletes are given the chance to win a championship and, more importantly, earn a degree.
Join the Penguin Club to support YSU and benefit from priority season tickets, game day parking, and access to hospitality suites.
Be a part of the team behind the teams.
Join the Penguin Club and make a difference.
Call 330-9411-YSU or go to ysusports.com for more information.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Danny Riley on the pitch for UIC, so the book is closed on the starter for the Flames, Jake Dahlberg. He went 7 innings, only giving up 2 runs, so a nice outing by Dahlberg. He's in line for the win, but Danny Riley's on this. He has not registered a decision in a game so far. He's only pitched 1 2/3 inning. He hasn't given up a run. 2 walks, 4 strikeouts so far in the young campaign for Danny Riley. Only appeared in 3 games. Kyle Benyo lead off for the Penguins here in the 8th inning. He's 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout. First pitch to Benyo, in there for a strike on the outside part of the plate. Danny Riley, a sophomore pitcher for the Flames. Swung on, lifted in the air. Back is the left fielder, Gibbous, and he will corral it and make the catch, and out is Kyle Benyo.
It's really a shame, Mike. The YSU players have had a number of good cuts, some solid contact, but by and large, pretty much every time a Penguin player has got that bat to the ball, it's been hit right at a UIC Flame, so not really a lot of fielding challenges for the Flames in this one.
Anthony Rowan up for the Penguins, 1 for 3 on the afternoon. Swung on, hit the first baseman, fielded. Almost misplayed it, but the first baseman, Ramirez, makes the play. 2 up, 2 down here in the 8th.
Nice play there by Ramirez, and another staple of this UIC program, as currently sit first in the Horizon League in fielding percentage, and that on display right there by Ramirez.
We'll have a pinch hitter here. Alex Larrabee will be up for the Penguins. Larrabee on the season, 163 average.
Appeared in just a handful of ball games for the Penguins.
Has 80 at-bats on the season, though. Only 8 RBIs. That one will get to the backstop.
Backstop's been getting a lot of work today.
I feel bad for it. Swung on and missed, 2-1.
Big cut
on
right
Larrabee.
there by Larrabee. If he could have made contact right there, that sucker was going for a ride.
A pitch in there for a strike, even in the count at 2-2.
If you're Larrabee here, you We've talked about it a number of times as quite a few Penguins have found themselves in this precarious position. Shorten up your swing here, try and defend the dish a little bit.
2-2, swung on, lifted in the air. That one will stay in play. Charging to it as the catcher couldn't make the catch as Rob Calabrese was underneath it. And the ball went over his head, kind of drifted back towards the field. Couldn't make the catch, and we'll do it again at 2-2. Tough plays there for catchers as you got all the gear on. You got to throw your mask out. You got to throw it out of the way. Try to spot the ball, get under the ball, make the catch. It's a tough play there for Calabrese. 2-2 now. In there for a strike, and definitely a strike 3 called. And 3 up, 3 down for YSU in the 8th. We'll move to the 9th inning where UIC will come to bat with a 20-run cushion.
You're here to be part of something bigger, to make things happen. For you, college is about knowledge being shared and learning experiences that aren't limited to the classroom. On campus, you want to matter. It's about engaging every day, building relationships with students, with mentors, with the community, in the heart of a reinvented city. We are that something bigger. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
The Penguin Club supports your Youngstown State student athletes.
Thanks to the Penguin Club, our student athletes are given the chance to win a championship and, more importantly, earn a degree.
Join the Penguin Club to support YSU and benefit from priority season tickets, game day parking, and access to hospitality suites.
Be a part of the team behind the teams.
Join the Penguin Club and make a difference.
Call 330-9411-YSU or go to ysusports.com for more information.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Javier Alvarez on for his 2nd inning of relief pitching as he registered 1 inning pitch, no earned runs, no strikeouts, didn't give up a hit last inning. Or did give up 1 hit. It was a double to Ramirez, which then got doubled off by an Ogata fly out to right, which they threw back and got Ramirez at 2nd for the force. Here's Josh Gear. Only his 2nd plate appearance on the afternoon. That pitch is in there for a strike. Curveball swung on, foul. One and two. There's the pitch. Curveball. Oh boy, it looked like it was in there. From up here, it looked like it hit the outside part of the plate, but we'll do it at 2-2.
Now, I'm all about, staying consistent here, Michael, but I do believe in this.
Swung and hit the shortstop Willoughby. He'll pick it up, fire over to first base, and Gear is retired.
Alvarez has really looked pretty solid here in his first couple batters he's faced, and arguably the best out of any pitcher we've seen today from the Penguins.
It'll be Thomas Norton, 1 for 4 in the afternoon with the RBI. Swung on, fouled out of play, even in the count of 1-1. Curveball swung on into left field, and that'll be corralled in by the left fielder, Anthony Rowan, and 2 away here in the 9th for UIC.
Rowan's been busy out there in left field, and thankfully he can make a play right there. And looking at a 3-up, 3-down inning here for the Penguins.
Here's Cronin, 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs for the Flames this afternoon. He now has 21 ribbies driven in with this performance in game number 1. This one swung on, belted into right field. Back is Levere, and that ball is gone. David Cronin tees off to right as Levere tried to get to it, and it got over the small wall in the bullpen, and David Cronin, that's his 5th home run on the season, his 5th RBI this afternoon, and the Flames up 23-2. Cronin gave it a ride.
And again, really, same thing we've seen a lot of his teammates do proficiently before. You find yourself in a precarious position for a batter and stay within yourself, take the pitch right back where the pitcher brought it from, and shoot that one over the right field wall. Brilliant bit of hitting right there.
I want to bring up Cody Bohannick, 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. That pitch is in there for a strike. Curveball outside, ball 1. Alvarez was doing a pretty good job until that home run. Cronin gave it a ride to right field. This one swung on, fouled on the right field line, 1-2. 1 strike away here is Alvarez from getting out of the 9th. Due up for the Penguins will be Willoughby, Kendrick, and Potvin in the 9th. Time called at the plate. Still 1-2. The 1-2, here's the pitch. Swung on, hit at the shortstop or the second baseman over the head and into right field. And Cody Bohannick's got a 2-out single.
Bohannick really just seeing the ball extremely well today and right there.
He's now 3 for 5 on the afternoon.
Really just shoots that one right back up the middle, and consistently what you're seeing out of these UIC hitters is pretty impressive, as you can definitely tell the Mike D's strategy of hitting, and this program has done a phenomenal job getting these guys ready to face pitchers, and they've had a tremendous amount of success today here against YSU.
Garrett Myers will make his first plate appearance on the afternoon. The junior outfielder will step up to the dish here in a 9th inning. Has his team up by 21. Pitch is in there for a strike. Curveball in the dirt. Nice block by Montgomery, holding the runner at first. Curveball downstairs, ball 2. Upstairs, ball 3. Swung on, hit the pitcher. Alvarez goes to first, and the Penguins will come to bat in the ninth. 3 outs away from suffering game number 1 to the UIC Flames.
You're here to be part of something bigger, to make things happen. For you, college is about knowledge being shared and learning experiences that aren't limited to the classroom. On campus, you want to matter. It's about engaging every day, building relationships with students, with mentors, with the community, in the heart of a reinvented city. We are that something bigger. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
The Penguin Club supports your Youngstown State student athletes.
Thanks to the Penguin Club, our student athletes are given the chance to win a championship and, more importantly, earn a degree.
Join the Penguin Club to support YSU and benefit from priority season tickets, game day parking, and access to hospitality suites.
Be a part of the team behind the teams.
Join the Penguin Club and make a difference.
Call 330-9411-YSU or go to ysusports.com for more information.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Penguins down to their last chance here in the ninth, as it'll be Willoughby, Kendrick, and Potvin up for the Penguins here in the ninth inning. On to pitch for UIC is number 20, Austin Smith. He's appeared in 5 games as a 1-0 record, a 1.35 ERA. He's pitched 6 2/3 innings. Only has given up 1 run. He's walked 4 and struck out 6. Hitters are only hitting .217 against him. So a pretty good season so far for Smith out of the bullpen for UIC. Here's the first pitch to Willoughby, is upstairs, ball 1. Swung on, hit foul.
Willoughby really an aggressive hitter, and despite not having much success today, has really attacked the pitcher in each of his at-bats. You're seeing that right here with he does battle with Smith.
Pitch swung on but corralled by the catcher, Cabrese, and now 1-2 on Willoughby. One two's in the dirt, 2-2. Two and two on the shortstop. This pitch is in the dirt and at the backstop again, full count. That pitch is upstairs, ball 4, and Willoughby will take his base. So the leadoff man will be aboard here in the ninth. Andrew Kendrick now up for the Penguins. 0 for 2 on the day. 0 for 3, excuse me. He's flown out to center, flew out to second baseman, and flew out to the left fielder. Swung on and belted, foul, out of play. And I think we're going to say that ball hit him.
It appears that's the case, Michael. Oh, I believe we're going to get a catcher interference call right there.
I was going to say, it definitely didn't hit him, as he hit a foul ball. So catcher interference is the call, so Kendrick will advance down to first, and the Penguins will have first and second with nobody out.
We see now Lou Cardona charge out there to second base to take the spot of Willoughby.
We'll have a pinch hitter here for YSU. It'll be number 39. Darshawn Armstrong. This pitch fouled back. One outside, ball two. That ball inside, 3-1. In there for a strike. And that was actually strike three. So Armstrong retired on strikes in the first out of the inning for UIC. Trey Brightis now up for the Penguins. First pitch to Brightis downstairs, ball one.
You know, Mike, as downtrodden as I'm sure this Penguin ball club is when you look at the score and really how game number one is shaken out here, when you look at the last few innings, they've really done a nice job of trying to build themselves some
Pitch hit
momentum.
to the third baseman will go to 2 for 1. Try to get the double play to end it, and they will. UIC goes 5-4-3 double play, and the Flames take game number one by a final score of 23-2. The Flames with 23 runs on 19 hits, 1 error. The Penguins, on the other hand, 2 runs on 4 hits, 1 error. So the Penguins suffer a defeat in game number one. Game number two will be coming up in about 30 to 40 minutes. Following this, we will not have that broadcasted for you. We will have that. You can follow that game on YSUSports.com on the live links link. But we will have one game for you tomorrow. Be sure to follow YSU Sports on Twitter and YSU Baseball on Twitter, as well as we will let you know what time that game will be. We believe that we will be broadcasting the noon game for the Penguins against the Milwaukee Panthers. For John Schiraldi, I'm Mike Yurstowski, saying so long for Eastwood Field, where the final score in game number one is the UIC Flames 23, the Youngstown State Penguins 2.